through the mouth from my lips when I show me where you wanna go next. You know right away. If you lost and you don't know where the truth is, looking all around but you don't know where to go. Well, we gon' show you the way. Okay, let me read the line. Line it up, standing back to back. Taking 9 times. Doctrine killer, hater stepping back. Captain Joel from the book. Yeah, the prophet's back. Officer Ahim. Yeah, that's Pepper Black. Officer LaCroix. Yeah, from way back. Minister of knowledge. Officer, just remember that. We gon' searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know it? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, shalom. Oh, wow. That's how this sounds. Okay. Hey, shalom, y'all. Shalom. You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History.
Hidden History
Radio show.
Okay. Wow.
Sick.
Wow.
Supposed to do the clapping after we say it. You clapping while we. All right.
Man, we got a new.
IT team, here we go. IT
What's the
team,
original?
already dropping the balls already. Dropping the ball.
Where's that?
I don't know what's going on over there.
Oh, come on, man.
Listen.
Audience clap was all in my ears. I'm going deaf.
Listen. Y'all brothers in IT tell you straight up, man. Y'all can't be looking at a wife and dropping the balls.
Ouch. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Pick them up, do the work, and y'all gonna get a wife, all right?
I don't know what that even means. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's
Very
it's
weird.
subliminal IT talk.
Took a very weird turn just now. I don't know what you're talking about, or balls and wife. I don't know what's happening.
Wow, I don't even know what
Children are up at this time. We can't do that. Patron Saints Radio talking about beat it up and beat it up juice, Barnabas. I don't know what's going on with y'all, man. I don't know what's happening.
That's
I see getting real explicit, man. I don't know what's happening with us, man.
well, that's how people understand, real talk.
Yeah, they do, but
Real
damn,
talk.
man. Damn. Balls dropping, wives. All right. Okay, that's just, all right.
Keep them.
Yeah,
Wow.
keep the balls.
Keep them in the sack.
You keep the balls in the sack.
Oh man, I'll take them back.
Am I good? All right. Sorry, let's keep this in. All right, so we're back. This is chapter
30.
30, is it?
30.
Wow. Now you do a clap now. We're in chapter 30. Wow.
Yeah, no
chapter
clap.
30.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Give somebody else, man. Come on, bro.
Right.
Yo, ready for that? He's not ready for the
Officer
spot,
LaQuark.
bro.
Officer LaQuark. We on with chapter what? Chapter
30.
30.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
You want something done, you do it
gotta do it
yourself.
yourself.
Damn.
Chapter 30. All right. So we're going to go to the Jewish
Oh yeah,
diaspora.
ready, man. Come on, man. This guy gonna mess it up.
We're going
man.
into the Jewish diaspora. Come on, brothers, man. Come on.
Stay in the spirit.
We're on page 463 of the Jewish diaspora. We use this book all the time. All the time this book is used. So I don't mind giving the title of this book away because we excessively use it. We're on page 463. Are we in this book? Wait, let me see. Yeah, page 463. We're going to stop at page 464. So we're going to start in Egypt. So Jewish community in Egypt. Yeah, let's go to migration routes and ethnic backgrounds because this book alludes to the ancient Jews' migrations and also the present bastard imposter Jew. Bastard Israeli. I'll say that. That's more politically correct. I mean, it won't shut us down if I say something about Jew. But pseudo Israelites or Israelis migrations as well. So let's start with that's why it says in 2007. So that's present. So go to migration routes. Let's start there. Migration routes will start there.
You all right, officer? Gotta redeem yourself.
Yeah, brother. Last time you said
Gotta redeem
lose
yourself,
our
man.
ice, lose a sauce and drip.
Dig, I thought we forgot about that.
Nah,
man,
I
never.
remind you to motivate you to read better today. You're very. You got like a -8 in
Oh,
and
snap.
they call that thing tomatoes. They call that critic thing tomatoes.
Rotten tomatoes.
Yeah, that's you. And reading tomatoes. You got -2.
Damn.
Yeah, migration routes and ethnic backgrounds.
Where is it? Okay. Migration routes and ethnic backgrounds. Sephardim came in the 12th century.
Right, Sephardim, meaning as in Israelites, the Jews of Spain came in the 12th century, means 1100s. Go ahead.
16th century and 19th century. Ashkenazim, 5,000 came mostly in the late 19th century.
Right, 1800s. Go ahead.
There were also indigenous indigenous Egyptian Jews and Karaite Jews.
Right, so they were indigenous Egyptian Jews and Karaite Jews. All right, language is spoken. So that's going to BS. Go to page 464, and we're going to start where it says 1492.
1492. A wave of Sephardim
exiles arrived from the Iberian Peninsula.
Right, they arrived in Egypt from the Iberian Peninsula, okay? They arrived in Egypt because they fled from Spain and Portugal, and they arrived in Egypt. We ran back to Egypt. We ran further away because they were persecuting us. Now, let's go to Babylon and Timbuktu, page 115. Babylon and Timbuktu, page 115. This is where it's going to get really detailed regarding the persecutions of us in Spain. There's a lot of persecutions going on. I think I have that book in my bag. Let me see if I have it here. My drink's falling apart. I got to hold it together. Damn. So, a pile of pages in the flap. All right, page 1. What'd I say? 115? 115. And we're going to start at, hold on. We're going to start. We're going to start at it was, and we're going to end at Christianity. And just read down.
Okay.
We're going to read all the way until page 116 into slavery. Go ahead.
The expulsion of the Jews from Spain and Portugal.
Right, we just read that a lot of us fled into Egypt as well. A lot of us fled back further towards the northeast. Some fled into northwest Africa, some fled to northeast Africa, but still found themselves being enslaved by the Turks, the Islamic Turks, okay, the Muslim Turks. Go ahead.
It was A.D.
Or Arabs. Go ahead.
It was A.D. 1492, January 2nd, when the Moorish stronghold of Granada surrendered to the armies of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella.
That was the last Moorish stronghold before we got conquered fully. Go ahead.
For the first time since the year 711, all of Spain was in Christian hands.
So for the first time since the year 711, all of Spain was back in white supremacy once again. Once again. Go ahead.
The decree to expel the Jews from Spain was signed on March 31st in one of the corridors of the great Alhambra, the palace of the Moorish kings of Granada. The reason given for the expulsion of the Jews was that it was thought they corrupted the Marranos, Jews converted to Christianity, by privately encouraging them.
Wait, I'm sorry. Where you at? It says the reason given for the expulsion of the Jews is that it was thought that they corrupted the Marranos, Jews converted to Christianity. So what was happening was the reason why the white man, we read this a few times. The reason why the expulsion took place is because of the threat of Judaism, true, genuine Judaism being taught by our brothers and sisters in Spain and Portugal, who obviously believed in Christ. And what was happening was some did, some didn't, but for the most part, they were teaching true Judaism, which is of course where Christianity and Islam pretty much derived from. Those are the pagan versions. But what happened was during the Spanish Inquisition, you had the Jews that were being converted into Christianity, and you had the Jews, other Jews that weren't converting. They were converting the Jews out of Christianity back into Judaism again, which is our culture, our heritage, okay, which has now become a religion, but it wasn't initially. And so the white man realized these Jews pushing this Judaism, these Judaizers are a threat to this kingdom, because Christianity was basically a doctrine of democracy. All be one, all are one people. But true Judaism separates you from everybody. It tells you stay separate. So that they said, listen, these guys are pushing this doctrine of separation in our kingdom. You gotta get them out of here. Get rid of them. And that's how the expulsion, that's the origin, that is the reason behind the expulsion, aside from the hatred they have for us. Go ahead.
The reason given for the expulsion of the Jews was that it was thought they corrupted the Marranos, Jews converted to Christianity.
Meaning they took them out of Christianity back to Judaism. It wasn't corruption, but they deemed it corruption. Go ahead.
By privately encouraging them in disloyalty to Christianity.
Right. They were teaching them secretly, because it was against the law to do that, to come out of Christianity. And it started to gain, obviously, the reason why they went that far is because it started to spread. Go ahead.
The ultimatum given to the Jews expired August 1st, 1492. Mm-hmm. But the last group of Jews did not leave until August 2nd, 1492. Mm-hmm. This date is of strange coincidence. The day was the 9th of Ab, the first day, which is the
fast day.
The last day.
No.
Sorry, you said fast? Fast, sorry.
Fast.
Fast?
Oh, Lord.
I can't see it. The fast day which is reminiscent of the destruction of the first and second temples.
Wow. So it says it's a coincidence that because when the Jews were expelled out of this area, it just so happens to be the same time in which the fast day, which is reminiscent of the destruction of the first and second temples. Go ahead.
Professor Alan H. Godby says that the reign of the last Jewish king of Ghana terminated in 1492.
Wow, so the reign of the last Jewish king of Ghana. So Israel is definitely in Ghana. He lost his rulership in 492 as well. Go ahead.
Deacon,
Yeah.
real quick, remember that movie, I think it was Bruce Willis, Tears
Tears of the Sun, boy.
Sun.
Tears of the Sun. That movie is a classic.
Remember when they were being persecuted,
The Igbo King Prince, yeah, by
Right.
other Hamites.
Right,
It's Arab, Islamic Hamites, yes.
right, was chasing them, and Bruce Willis went, what the hell is going on? Why are you people so important that they're killing you? And he was ready to kill them. He said, well, I'll tell you the truth. It's because I am the last heir to the Hebrew throne.
Right.
And they keep giving us these little messages in these movies. We're not picking up. Why? Because we don't know this history.
They killed his mother, father, I think his siblings in front of him, and
Right.
his servant took him and ran with him.
Right.
Just to preserve him.
Right, right.
So-
So it's kind of similar to what we were actually reading right
Yeah,
here.
it's actually similar to what happened with that woman, Queen Adelia. She killed all the seed royal, the men, and the priests, I think, preserved that son and kept them alive, until eventually she was overthrown.
Right, right. All praise.
The reign of the last Jewish king of Ghana terminated in 492. Go ahead.
In order to satisfy Queen Isabella of Spain, King Manuel of Portugal promulgated a royal decree expelling the Jews and Moors from his country in 1496.
Right. So Spain. So a lot of the Jews, when the expulsion took place in August of 492, remember we were conquered in May. Only January we were conquered. So by August it was time for us to go. I'm trying to see. So when a lot of us who fled from Spain's expulsion, we fled to Portugal. So, but Spain and Portugal, they were cool. This is easy Edomites. They said, okay, these niggas are running over here, Negroes running over here. So get them out of here too. So to please the Spanish, to show loyalty or alliance with Spain, Portugal also decreed to get us out of there also, the Moors and Jews also. The Moors are Israelites that convert to Islam. Go ahead.
The Jews who were, next page. Zoom in a little bit. The Jews who were expelled from Spain and Portugal were scattered throughout the Mediterranean coast.
Mm-hmm.
It is estimated that over 100,000 Jews departed from Spain and Portugal during the persecutions and the expulsion. Some of these Jews went to Northern Europe, Italy, and Turkey.
Right.
But most of them went to Muslim countries of Northern and Western Africa.
Right, like that goes into Northern Western Africa. That's like Tunisia, again, Carthage, and so forth. There's Muslim countries. Why? Because during the time when the Jews were being expelled out of Spain and Portugal, you had the Ottoman Turks who conquered the Byzantine Empire in 1453. I think May 14th, 1453. So the Turks, Ottoman Turks, which are Arabs mixed with Europeans, Edomites and Arabs mixed together, Edom Arabs or Edom Ishmaelites mixed together, they ended up pushing their Islamic conquests across the world. All right, a whole new branch of Muslims that they came along and they started taking over the parts of West Africa and so forth. And so when our brothers and sisters fled out of Spain and Portugal into parts of Africa, guess what ended up happening? They ran to Muslim conquests. They ran from European conquest to Muslim conquest, and got sold regardless. And some of them got sold right back into the hands of the Portuguese by the Arabs. And if it wasn't the Arabs that conquered us, it was the Hamites that were already there waiting for us. Okay? Go ahead.
Some of these Jews went to Northern Europe, Italy, and Turkey, but most of them went to Muslim countries of Northern and Western Africa.
Most of them fled into Africa. Most of the Jews fled into North and West Africa. Most of them. Go ahead.
These black Jews would naturally go to African countries, most of all, because less persecution, and they could disguise themselves easily among blacks.
Among other Hamites that were there, the Hamites that were indigenous to the land. They could hide themselves from there. Go ahead.
RHM.
They can hide from the Spanish and Portuguese. But of course, the Hamites who hated us made it very, very clear, these Negroes over here are not us. These guys are separate. These are different people. They told the white man, those are not our people over there. So we tried to hide among the Hamites, but that didn't work too long. Go ahead.
R.H.M. Elwes gives a graphic description of the Portuguese Jew, Baruch Spinoza.
Baruch Spinoza. Go ahead.
Middle-sized, good features, skin somewhat black.
Skin somewhat black. Go ahead.
Black curly hair.
Whoa.
What the?
That's like a nuclear bomb in my ears,
Yeah.
man.
Dropped it again. They didn't even wait for the brother to make the point.
Right. Damn.
I gotta turn that down. That was crazy.
Turn that down, bro. It's so loud.
Hey, real quick,
And
you just
what was it?
blew my thought out my
Yeah,
out
man,
my
that was
head.
crazy.
Hey, listen, going back to the top there, this seems to be an ability that Israel always had. From Moses, amongst the Egyptian, they thought he was an Egyptian because he was dark, right? And then when Christ went among
His parents fled with him to Africa too.
to Africa,
Right.
and we disguise ourselves amongst those people. History keeps telling us we was always around a group of people that look like us, but was never us.
Right.
That's what it keeps repeating itself over and over. Yep.
Read on.
Middle-sized, good features, skin somewhat black, black curly hair, long eyebrows of the same color, so that one might know by his looks that he was a descendant from Portuguese Jews.
Right. Go ahead.
When the Jews were expelled from Spain, about 100,000 entered Portugal. They were permitted to enter under the condition that they pay the poll tax.
Right. So the Jews were expelled from Spain. About 100,000 entered Portugal. 100,000 of them entered Portugal, fleeing from Spain. You read earlier that Portugal also eventually kicked us out too. It says they were permitted to enter under the condition that they pay a poll tax. So they can enter Portugal but pay a tax to get in. Go ahead.
With the understanding that they would leave the country within 8 months.
So we were allowed to live in Portugal but pay a poll tax, but only could stay temporarily for 8 months in Portugal. Go ahead.
Also at this time, the king obligated himself to take the Jews wherever they desired at the termination of the 8 months.
Go ahead.
When the time expired, many Jews were stranded because the king did not provide enough ships in
So
time.
the king said, wherever you want to go, after the 8 months is up, you guys can leave wherever you want. But he did not provide enough ships for the Jews to leave deliberately. Go ahead.
All the black Jews who were left behind were deprived of their freedom and sold into slavery.
There you go. See that? That's what he did on purpose. Left fewer ships so that you could leave to be sold off into slavery. Okay? To be sold off into slavery. Now, let's get page 126 now. Let's go a little further ahead. Matter of fact, real quick, you got page 117? Yes, sir. Hold on a second. Read the top of that. Read the top of that. You can read the top paragraph. 117.
Okay. The final dispersion of the black Jews of Africa. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to establish themselves on the West African
So the first
coast.
ones to arrive in the African coast to colonize and buy slaves from the dark nations that resided in there at the time, meaning Hamites and Ishmaelites, Islamic Ishmaelites, were the Portuguese. Those are the first ones to arrive. Go ahead.
They came first as merchants.
They came first as buyers, merchants to buy what? To buy resources and people, us. Go ahead.
And secondly, as conquerors and slavers.
See that? And secondly, as conquerors and slavers. Go ahead.
Later in this work, the black Jews in the Portuguese possessions in West Africa will be discussed in greater detail.
Go ahead.
Now, let us return to the Jews of North Africa.
Go ahead.
With the influx of tens of thousands of black Jews from Spain and Portugal seeking refuge in African ports, Morocco received a great share.
Morocco was a Muslim land. Go ahead. Territory. Go ahead.
But before this date, many Jewish tribes were entrenched in Fez, the Atlas, and the desert. In Morocco, there was a revival of Moorish and Jewish science in all areas.
Right, go ahead.
The Hebrew Academy in Fez competed with the one in
Quran, Quran, Algeria.
Quran, Algeria.
Right, go ahead.
There were many debates and lectures between the sages and scholars of these schools.
We built schools in these areas. Go ahead.
Eldad the Danite, a Hebrew from the Jewish kingdom of Ghana, visited these schools in the 9th century.
Go ahead.
There was a celebrated Hebrew college at
Sigil Masa.
Siljamasa in the desert south of Fez. The school of Siljamasa produced many illustrious scholars.
Jump down to where it says there are many. Last paragraph.
So that was we had colleges before.
We had
the white
schools.
man, established his colleges.
Yep.
There are many Jewish tribes and settlements throughout Morocco and the Sahara Desert. The Ait Musa, or Beni Musa, sons of Moses, is one of the spectacular Jewish tribes.
Stop. Go to that map now. The red map, the one with the red letters. There are many Jewish tribes and settlements throughout Morocco and the Sahara Desert. The Ait Musa, or the Beni Musa, sons of Moses, is one of the spectacular Jewish tribes. Okay? I mean, that red map right there is a high def one. Yep. Now I want you to blow it up some. You're going to see Beni Musa somewhere on here. Look around. I know it's in this map. You should see Beni Musa somewhere in here. You see it? Right where? Where's it at? Circle it. Circle it.
I think I see it right
Yep,
there.
yep.
Where you circling it at?
Rio de Oro, and if you look right to the right, it's circling right there. It's in red.
Circle it slower.
It's in red, right there in the top.
Okay, I see it better.
It's a little pixelated, but that's Benny Musa.
Up
right
top,
there. Yep.
where it says what now?
Top left.
You see where it says that's Rio de
Right.
Oro. If you look to the right of that, to the end of Oro, look to the right, and it's written in red, going towards the right.
Okay,
Benny,
and you
right
see
there.
you see dagatons there. Go down, you see over Sahara Desert. So you see dagatons. That's a fancy word for scattered Jews also.
Yep.
Dagatons. That's an esoteric word. A word that the very few know is in reference to dagatons. Okay? Dagatons. And you saw Beni Musa there. So go up again, where it is.
Yep. Go back up.
To Beni Musa again. Oh, Auto, I see it right there.
see
Okay,
it,
Beni
right?
Musa. Okay. You see where it is? Not too far from the Sahara Desert. It's right there. Right there, okay? Beni Musa. On the far left there. Okay.
So there are colleges in the desert.
All the schools in the desert, right. When we fled from Spain and Portugal, which is right above, go up above. Go up top. See Spain right there up top? Spain's right there. So we fled down. Let's just go from Spain, move the arrow down, and go where Beni Musa is. And we stayed right there. Right off the coast of the water is at. Right in the coast of the water is. The land is rich and so forth. There's water there. All right? So let's go back to the Ait Musa. Go back to that page now. 117, the Ait Musa, or Beni Musa. This is that was Northwest Africa. Go ahead.
There are many Jewish tribes and settlements throughout Morocco and the Sahara Desert.
That was in Morocco, that area, right? That we were at now, on that map.
I think so.
Go back to the map again one time. Let's see that map, what it's close to. I think that's Morocco, if not next to it. Go back with Morocco, from Morocco on this map. Where's Morocco at? What's that say there? Algeria? In black, right? It says Algeria right there.
Mauritania.
Blow it up some.
Ashra Desert.
Yeah, Mauritania is Morocco. Where's Mauritania at? Where's say Mauritania? You see where it says Mauritania? I didn't even see it. Right there, okay, it's right there, Mauritania. It's written up and down the left. Move it over.
Slanted, right?
Yeah, slanted, right there.
Right there, okay.
You see Mauritania right there. You see Algeria written downwards. So Morocco is Mauritania, okay? It's the same place. Morocco and Mauritania are the same place, okay? Same exact place.
It's all done. This is Jewish
It's all the
colony.
same. That means land of the blacks, black land. That's what it means. And then the bottom half is Igbo land. That's the bottom half. All right? Negro land. Negro land, the Grisha, same thing. So let's read on. Ashanti, right? That's Benjamin, and yeah.
The homie down there.
You don't get the homie. We're gonna get the homie soon. The homie was an evil Canaanite bastard. Evil. Go ahead. Not the name, but the people. The Hamites that resided in their homie were the worst.
Right.
It is referred to as the homie. They have a name, but they're referred to as the homie because they were the inhabitants. They were the initial inhabitants of that area. We pushed them there. When Joshua conquered, we pushed them to that area there. And we conquered when Sidon and Tyre and Sidon fell under the Greeks and we took over. Those Hamites got forced down to serve us and were forced down to that area. That's how when we fled from Spain and Portugal, they was like, yes, finally. Go ahead, read that now.
There are many Jewish tribes and settlements throughout Morocco and the Sahara Desert. The Ait Musa, or Beni Musa, sons of Moses, is one of the spectacular Jewish tribes. Leo Africanus, a Moorish converted Jew,
Go ahead.
states that the Jews of North Africa are of a hybrid quality.
So Leo Africanus, we use this map all the time. We use Leo Africanus' map, and we use El Idrisi's map. Those guys' maps were oftentimes by scholars and people of his prestigious or elite status. They combined those two. Those two were heavily versed in the travels of Africa. So they took the travels of Idrisi, an Arab, and Leo Africanus, an Israelite, a black man, and they merged them together. And that's that map I showed before where it says Lamb Land, and it mentions, it says Lamb Land on it, Lamb Land, and it says the Jewish colony and things of that nature. Y'all saw it last week, that map I showed you. That's Africanus and that's Idrisi. Well, Idrisi, but they combined their maps together. Go ahead.
They have proselytized and intermarried among the Greeks.
So the Jews of North Africa are of a hybrid quality. Now that's very important. That's very good. That's very important. It sounds like a firecracker, but you're getting there. It says the Jews of North Africa are of a hybrid quality. What does that mean? That means that Israel intermingled with these nations. That's why we read earlier said that the Jews of Portugal were somewhat black. Now we read earlier when the Moors first arrived, they were jet black, like black pitch. You remember that? So it goes from that to somewhat black. Why? Just read on.
They have proselytized.
Meaning we converted. We weren't supposed to. We were converting heathens, marrying them and converting them to Judaism. Go ahead.
And intermarried among the Greeks.
Intermarried among the Greeks.
Vandals.
Vandals are the Spaniards, Edomites. Go ahead.
Romans. Spaniards. And Portuguese.
We intermingle with them, like in Cape Verde. Cape Verdeans are a result of a multitude of black Israelite men marrying Portuguese women. Exactly. And them kids look crazy. Gray eyes, dark skin, woolly blonde hair. They look crazy. Those are hybrids. Those are Israelites, but they're hybrid in features. Hybrid, even the ones in Haiti. You showed me that last week about Haiti. Well, a lot of Haitians mixed with who were they mixing with again?
Mixed with Assyrian.
But there's right, damn.
Yep.
Syrians. Wow. Syrians.
With
Syrians.
People from Holland.
In Holland, right.
And also you have a lot of Asians.
Right, Moab too. Right.
Moab over there too.
Right. So let's read on.
The Jews, next page. The Jews intermarried among the Greeks when the latter established their When the latter established their colony in Libya.
Called what?
Called Cyrenaica.
So it says the Jews. So he's giving you a time frame when Israel began to mingle. It says the Jews who intermarried with the Greeks, they latter established their colony in Libya called Cyrenaica. Go back to that map again. But that's why this book is very, very hard to find, if at all. Okay, we had to do a little bit of a dare I say a bit of a heist to get this book in a way. You know, we got it the right way, but we had to take some steps to get it. There are normal people who wouldn't normally go to get it. We got it though.
Indiana Jones.
Nothing illegal. Just saying we had to have, connections to get this book. It's in certain universities that only those who've gone to school or college are allowed into to actually rent these books out.
I'm gonna get you brothers khaki suits and call you Team Indiana Jones. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
did it, right?
Right. So you see, it says they established their colony in Libya. Look for let's just see a colony of Jews somewhere around that area, Libya. Libya's right there, Libyan desert. You're gonna see somewhere it says colony. Tripoli is Carthage too. That's next door to Carthage. But go down some, you're gonna see it. It's gonna say colony somewhere about Libya. Nubia. What's it say next? What's it say over there? On the right of Libyan desert?
Oh, in black?
No, in red.
In red. Can't really make that out.
It just says Hebrew under it.
Oh, yeah. That's Jake. Hebrew there, but it says something else. Hold on. Let me get it. Shoot. I got to talk. Got the WAP. I can't find something. You have to pay yourself to talk if I can't say nothing. Hold on.
LaQuac, say something clever.
Yo, you got that? Can you show that real quick?
Because of the map.
Hold on.
I was going to show something concerning the hybrid. When remember we just read that the skin was real dark,
Right.
and then different features like in the eyes.
Right.
Yeah, I just showed them a little clip, little video clip I saw, but I won't be able to see it.
You see.
Yep. So what Deacon is saying, like with the history, it's like.
Oh, right above Libyan desert. Go up. You're gonna see Barca Cyrenaica. That's where Hannibal's from. That's where Hannibal number from.
Okay, yes, right.
See, Barca, that's where the Barca family is from. That's where the Barca family is from. Hannibal Barca and his family is from. And their colony stretched from Libya, that part of Libya, all the way to Mauritania. The Carthaginians had that on lock. We Israelites had that on lock. Then, after that, later on, a Roman general by the name of Septimius Severus hailed from the same land, from the same exact place. So go back to that area again, Cyrenaica. You see, it says Barca Cyrenaica, Cyrenaica. And you have, hold on. Yeah, that's about it. Barca Cyrenaica. If you look, you'll see where it says in the water. Go up top to the water. Go up top. You see it says Leptis, because what's the name is from Septimius Severus is from a place called Leptis Magna. Mm-hmm. That's Libya. That's why it says Leptis there. You see the arrow says Leptis.
Right.
You see Minoan colonies. That's Japheth. Minoans is Japheth. Black Europeans. Minoans are the ones you see in the artwork. They're like this. Their fists like this. They're jet black with long flowing black hair, like they're like Hawaiians today.
Right.
They're called Minoan. You have Minoans, Etruscans, and you had Minoans, Etruscans, and something else. Another name I can't think of at the moment. But those Japheth. Those are the black Europeans. They had colonies there. That's why I said earlier, when Israel conquered parts of these European lands, we intermingled with these inhabitants, with Japheth, Minoan colonies. It says Leptis Magna. It says Leptis 800 BC. That's when the Canaanites made this their colony. But it says Sidon, Israel here. Why? Because some Israelites traveled along with the Canaanites to these lands, and they were the minority. Once the Greeks conquered Sidon and Tyre, the old Tyre, and they pretty much got destroyed, the Israelites pretty much took over where Sidon left off. And we made these lands that Sidon established first, from Libya to Carthage, ours. And then the Greeks called us Phoenicians. The Greeks called us Phoenicians from that point on. The Semites, among the Hamites, they called us Phoenicians, and we became the majority, while Ham became the minority, and we basically made them our slaves and intermarried with some of them, and also when we conquered that area, we forced some of them further south. And that's where Dahomey derived from, those Hamites that reside there. And the ones who sold us when we fled from Spain into Portugal were the same conquered Hamites we conquered when we took over in the first place. So you had the Arabs, the Turks, the Turkish Arabs, or is Muslim Arabs, Hamites, joined forces, and then the white man showed up, Portuguese showed up, and it was a wrap. That's how you got your transatlantic slave trade. All right, those are the culprits involved in that, as well as the trans-Saharan, sub-Saharan slave trade also. So Barca Cyrenaica, I keep saying Cyrenaica, Barca Cyrenaica, all right? So now let's go back to page 118 again. Intermarried among the Greeks. These Jews intermarried among the Greeks and did what now? And later established what?
And later established a colony in Libya called Cyrenaica. Some intermarriages occurred between Jews, Romans, and Vandals when the later two invaded North Africa.
Right, so some intermarriages occurred between Jews, Romans, and Vandals when the latter two, meaning Romans and Vandals, invaded North Africa. Because the Vandals, remember the Vandals are the ones who eventually became who you know as the Visigoths, or a family of them, which took over North Africa and eventually spread their power up into Spain and Portugal, where the Edomites established themselves. Remember, Hannibal and them had Spain and Portugal first, and then of course the Romans came and overthrew them and conquered them, and it became their power. So it says the latter two conquered North Africa, which would be Romans and Vandals, which are the same people. Romans and Vandals are the same people. Visigoths, Vandals, and Romans are the same. There's different sects of the same people. Likewise, Greeks, same people. Okay? Read on.
And before the Jews were expelled from Spain and Portugal,
Here we go. So it's going back to that again. Before the Jews were expelled, go ahead.
there were some intermarriages.
Of course, go ahead.
Considering all this intermingling, many Jews of North Africa still retain much of their colored features.
So despite all the mixing we did, the Jews still have their colored features. So, like for example, Cape Verde, they had those gray eyes, blonde hair, but they still got that black skin, that brown skin, or that wide nose, or those lips. Something Negro shows in them features, because our features are dominant. All right. What I want. I want more. Yeah, read on down to according to.
Okay. According to Maurice Fishberg, who was quoted by Alan Goodby,
Right, Maurice Fishberg wrote a book called The Jews. He said, what now?
he was unable to distinguish
I'm sorry, Alan Godby quoted this man named Maurice Fishberg, who wrote a book I have called The Jews. Go ahead.
He was unable to distinguish a Jew from Mohammedan while passing along the streets of Algiers.
So he couldn't determine between the two. They both were black. Go ahead.
Algiers, Constantine, a city of northern Africa,
Algiers, Constantine, the city of northern Africa. Go ahead.
and Tunis.
That's Carthage. Go ahead. North Africa. Go ahead.
It is remarkable that among the non-Jewish natives, there are seen many Jews of Negroid type.
Jews of Negroid type. Jews of Negroid type. Okay. Now let's see. Let me see what I want. You jump down to the Garian section of Libya, in the Garian bottom part. I'm kind of sidebarring a little bit, but it's still in the same vein of thought.
In the Garian section of Libya,
Oh, give me Acts 2. I'm bugging. Give me Acts 2 about Cyrenaica. I can forget. To show that we established a colony there. Acts 2. Acts 2. But the Jews establishing a colony in that area.
Verse 10.
Yeah, Acts 2, we're going to start from verse 1, 5, then jump down to 10.
the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. Verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Keep reading it down.
Right, so there were Jews that were dwelling to keep the Feast of Pentecost, dwelling out of every what?
Out of every nation under heaven.
So this whole thing is talking about Jews. Jews from all parts of the world. All right, read on.
Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
They heard the disciples speaking to them in multiple languages. The Lord made the disciples multilingual. That's what it means by tongues. Not that nonsense glossolalia garbage that the white Germans made up. These Christian theologian Germans made up. So I'm talking about that. It's referring to different languages. When you go into your Bible, right into your Bible, so those of you who are watching, you're going to see where it says the Holy Bible, Old and New Testament's authorized version, translated out of the original tongues and with previous translations diligently compared and revised. So it says tongues. Original tongue means languages. That's in your Bible. Now, that's what it's talking about. Now, jump to verse 10 now. These are Jews, verse 10.
Verse 10. Phrygia
Phrygia, you had Jews in Phrygia.
and Pamphylia
Jews in Pamphylia.
and Egypt.
Jews in Egypt. Read that earlier how Jews were already in. Why did they flee to Egypt from Spain and Portugal? Because you had Jews already still residing there. Go ahead.
And in parts of Libya.
And in parts of Libya, like Barca. Go ahead.
About Cyrene.
About Cyrene or Cyrenaica. Same place, about Cyrene. Go ahead.
And strangers of Rome,
Jews in Rome.
Jews and proselytes.
Jews who converted back to Judaism. From paganism back to Judaism. That's Jews also. Proselytized or converted Jews. Now, let's go back to, where were we at?
Hey, Dick, I wanted to show that little small clip.
Okay, who's
Remember we
this?
talking about the hybrid?
Wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
she's
dark.
jet dark.
Right, and then the eyes. You want to see she got like.
With the full screen, let's see it.
It's a very short clip. I saw it on Instagram.
You blow it up? All right, press play.
Hello, my name is Vernon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's-
That's a pure more there.
Yep.
Now look at her eye colors, though.
Play it again.
Play it again. Look at her eyes.
Hello, my name is Vernon. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Look at Jake. Her hair, her skin is shiny. That's Jake.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's that shiny skin. You know,
the
Ham got that
teeth,
ashy, non-lotion functioning skin of there. That ain't gonna work. That's Jake there. Well, her eyes, you see how color her eyes. You got Eurocentric eyes and jet black skin. That's a hybrid.
The one by the Genesis talking about his teeth shall be white.
White with milk, right. Play it again, please. Teeth white with milk.
Yep.
That's burnt in the furnace right there. That is burnt in a furnace.
Right.
That's right.
That's the Lord's features there.
Yeah.
Look at the teeth.
Look at her lips. You know what she remind me of? The watch and read.
Right, right.
How they have
right.
Christ looking?
Yep, yep.
The lips like that, and the head, the face. That's how the Messiah's skin looked. Just like that. Jet black. His eyes weren't that color, but he was jet black, like her. Purple. She's black purple. Let's say purple black. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So now let's go to page 126 now. 126. No. Did I stray? Did I stray? No, I did not. Let's go to page 126.
Israel, stop bleaching your damn skin.
Yes, please.
That's what this history is trying to show you.
Benji.
Precious, beautiful people.
Page 127. Page
The
1.
Jamaicans, right?
Page
the
one.
Haitians too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Haitians do that.
I ain't gonna
Page
start now,
126.
bro.
Cabin's not here. That's good.
We was in Jamaica, man. They was wearing hoodies. They had their skin bleached and wore hoodies so that someone didn't touch them.
Right, right.
That's what they was doing. And they had black ass knuckles and light fingers.
Right,
Crazy.
Right, right.
And a lot of people in Africa is doing the same thing.
Yeah,
too.
doing the same thing. That bleach soap.
Right. And after they do that, they can't stand the sun.
Yeah, they can't.
The
Mess
sun
them
will
up.
burn their skin. Why would you want to put yourself through that hell?
Self-hatred.
Page 126. Horrendous. We're gonna end at permits.
Okay. Horrendous conditions like these and much worse compelled many Jews to escape secretly out of the country.
We read earlier how the children were taken from us. We had to swallow our gold. We ran to burglars getting robbed and so forth, robbers. We ran to a lot of things. We ran to all, they burned our graves. That was last week. So he's mentioning these other atrocities that's not mentioned in the book we read last time. Go ahead.
These black Jews went to Portuguese colonial possessions.
So these black Jews went to Portuguese colonial possessions because the Portuguese were the first ones to colonize parts of Africa, along with the Arabs and the Hamites. Go ahead.
Colonial possessions in Western Africa.
And Western Africa, where Israel fled to. Go ahead.
Remember that the Portuguese colonies in Western Africa were
Guinea,
San Tomo,
San Tome Island, that's St. Thomas Island,
Senegal,
Angola,
Angola, and a few islands near the African coast.
that's Cape Verde. Cape Verde, and you had
The Ivory.
another island called Canary Islands. The Canary Islands. That's there too. Go ahead.
During
When Columbus came to this side of the world, he said that the Native Americans reminded him of the features of those in the Canary Islands. Same for the same black skin he was saying. The same black skin. All right, go ahead.
During the persecutions in Portugal, thousands of Jews left the country. The Jews were leaving the country in such large numbers that in 1499 and 1531, the kings published a decree forbidding the new Christians, black Jews, from leaving Portugal without special permits.
Because the Jews are leaving in such high numbers that you guys can't leave out of here without special permits. Because you had Israelites, not only remember the Jews were being persecuted so bad, they didn't care who was converted, who wasn't. They were killing them all the same. So the new Christians started leaving too. They said, no, you niggas are going to stay right here. You're going to need permits to show whether you can leave or not.
Yeah.
So they basically made out that land a jail for us without permit. You needed a permit to, like today, you need a passport. Yeah. You need a passport to leave. You need a passport to leave. That's what they said. They created a law to create a passport. So you cannot leave out of here. Okay? So now, go to page 129. Whenever. And end at South America.
Okay. Whenever the Christian Jew could escape from...
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, end at South America. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Whenever the Christian Jew could escape from Spain and Portugal beyond the reach of the Inquisition, they threw off the guise of Christianity and practiced Judaism openly.
See that? So whenever the Jews in Spain and Portugal were their colonial possessions, they disguised themselves as Christians in outward form. That's called the crypto Jews. Go ahead.
Right.
As they did in Turkey. However, the unfortunate new Christians, nominal Christians or secret Jews,
Crypto,
and Portuguese possessions in Western Africa, India, and elsewhere could not throw off the disguise of Christianity.
Wait, where you at?
Right at Africa, India, and elsewhere.
Could... Page 120. I'm sorry, you wrong page. We see something. Oh, I read 128. Hold on.
Yeah, it's crazy with the with the passport. Like, we were brought here against our will, and you still not free to leave. You know what I'm saying? So everything is in disguise. You want to leave, you have the illusion that you're free, but you still need their permission to travel from country to country,
right?
Even returning to your own country. You know.
Go to page 128. Go there first. Go to the top of page 128.
Angola, it is said, came from Saint Tome Island. And available evidence indicates that the Jews of the Angola coast were Portuguese Jewish outcasts.
See that? The Jews of Angola were Portuguese outcasts, Jews that escaped Portugal. Fled to Angola. Jump down to whenever.
Whenever the Jews were in Spain, Portugal, or their colonial possessions, they disguised themselves as Christians in outward form, but practiced Judaism in secret. Many of these new Christians knew Christian rites better than the old white Christians.
So many of these new Christians, I mean the fake Israelites that feigned Christianity, knew the Christianity better than the white man, because the Bible was our book. So we knew how to fake it more, because it was our book anyway. So we knew the Bible better than the white man. That's what it's saying here. So we can pass as Christians or Christianity followers because we knew the Bible. Go ahead.
In the year of 1547, the papal office authorized the establishment of the system of the Inquisition in Portugal. The word Inquisition means inquiry or investigation.
Right, meaning investigate who? The Jews that were posing as Christians. Jews who are professing Christianity falsely. That's what it was all about. Because you had Jews that were doing that, converting real Christians or Jews following pagan Christianity out of that and back into Judaism secretly. And it spread so much as to get these Jews out of here and keep the coons with us. Go ahead.
The Inquisition consisted of a tribunal of religious judges.
Inquisitors, go ahead.
Its purpose was to investigate and purge out heretical Christians.
Heretical Christians are Judaizing Christians. Judaizing Christians. Jews that taught the black Messiah, Jews that taught God's laws. Christianity, under the Spanish and Portuguese, was pagan Christianity. White Jesus, no laws. The one you guys, Negroes, love today. Go ahead.
Its purpose was to investigate and purge out heretical Christians, persons who questioned certain Christian principles.
And those who questioned Christianity were also investigated and killed or locked up or enslaved. Go ahead,
Although some white Portuguese Christians suffered at the hands of the Inquisition.
Meaning some white Christians, as in white converts. These are Edomite converts who follow the doctrine of Judaism also. They suffered somewhat because they were following Negro religion. So they suffered somewhat, but not nearly as bad as the original. Go ahead.
This system was mainly directed against the new Christians, the secret black Jews.
See that? This system was primarily targeting us. So the white man who converted to Judaism, he's good. And they're in the land today. We read earlier in the Jewish diaspora book how there's Sephardic people there. That's them. That's their descendants living there at peace, claiming to be the original Jews of Spain. They were not.
And Dick, that right there remind me of Matthew 24, verse 24.
Let's get that. And give me 1 Maccabees 1 also, where it says mainly directed against the new Christians, the secret black Jews. The expulsion was to target Judaizing Israelites. That's what it was for. Like we are targeted today as black identity extremists, as terrorists. It's the same thing happening again.
So it was happening there. Now it grew stronger and stronger.
Right.
And that's when Matthew 24.
Right, read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. Verse 24. For there shall rise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that, if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect.
Like the false Christ is what we're reading about. The Inquisition. This is right here. This is King Ferdinand, Isabella. You have Caesar Borgia, Pope Alexander VI of Rome. It's the same thing. This is the beginning of it, of its spreading and getting dominion over the earth.
Right, and the target is the Jews.
Right.
Make sure they get deceived.
Right, exactly. Guess 1 Maccabees 1. If it were possible, right, they will see the very elect. 1 Maccabees 1 and 41.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
So you had heathens that converted over. Go ahead.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Many of our people also sold out and did the same. Go ahead.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Follow the strange religion of the Greeks. Go ahead.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Come on.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Profanation, watch verse 49.
To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
So the target was the Jews. The target was the Jews. They were the target. They were the ones who had laws that they abided by that kept them separate from everybody else. When the Greeks had a religion that forced everyone to be all one. Sound familiar? Christianity is the same doctrine. All are one. We're all the same. All inclusive.
And that also proved, Dick, why we are number one SPLC's target.
Right, number one on SPLC's target.
Target list, yep.
Right, let's go back to where we were at.
Although
The Inquisitions were persistent, gruesome.
the Inquisitions were persistent, gruesome, and ruthless, in the totality of their procedures.
Uh-huh.
They interfered in the private affairs of
Individuals.
individuals. They intimidated and
Coerced. Meaning forced us.
individuals to inform on their neighbors.
They forced us to rat on each other. They forced us to rat each other out. These are inquisitors doing this. And you remember like Torquemada, that evil black bastard. He was a grand inquisitor. Two of them were, but he's the one I know by name.
Well, that goes to, what's his name, William, with the Black Panther.
William O'Neill.
O'Neill.
William O'Neill. Or Darth Perry. Yep. Same thing. Go ahead.
They employed a wide variety of continuous horrendous tortures.
I showed you those tortures, but Jake, what's his name? Judas's Cradle. I showed you all the torture devices that they used last week. If you didn't watch it, watch last week's episode. Watch chapter 29, where I give y'all detailed descriptions of the torture weapons used to torture us and destroy us. All right, to break us. Go ahead.
Including public shows of burning humans beings at the stake.
Burning us at the stake. Go ahead.
And in order to satisfy their desires for the punishment of heretics, they sought out not only the living, but also the
They
dead.
would raid our graves. I read that to y'all last week in a whole different book. They raided our graves and stole all the jewelry and wealth we buried our loved ones with. They stole it. They raided it. Go ahead.
Garcia de Orte, a Jew of Portugal, was discovered to have been a secret Jew. His body was dug up out of his grave and burned by the Inquisition.
They found he was keeping Judaism secretly. He's dead. Took his body out the grave and burned it.
That's
Devil.
You can't make this up, man.
That's purple hatred right there.
That's perfect hatred. Perfect hatred.
And now they would Esau would glorify such action, talking about the tomb raiders,
Right.
and not speak of the evil that was done when raiding tombs.
Yeah, that's
You
talking
know
about
what I mean?
them.
Right.
Right. Now, if you would go to their tombs and their burial places and do that,
you go to
it would
jail.
be capital punishment.
Yep.
You'd
Right.
be worthy for death.
Oh,
Right.
they'll charge you with hate crime.
Right.
Right. Now, remember, we read earlier in Maccabees how the Jews were basically forced to eat swine's flesh. You recall that, right? Read this here. In another case,
In another case, a Jewish woman
a Jewish woman, a sister. There was no discrimination between them. They killed both, just the same. Woman, go ahead.
a Jewish woman by the name of Elvira del Campo was indicted and tortured. Indicted and tortured for 2 years in order to elicit a confession from her.
So they tortured her for 2 years to force her to confess to being a secret Jew. Go ahead.
The charges against her were not eating pork.
Stop.
Damn.
Yeah.
There you go. Letting you know that the Christians were pushing the doctrine of what? Eating unclean foods. Unclean foods. Just like the Greeks. Just like the Greeks, man.
Right. And them knowing our history in Judith 5, they said if these people sin, their God will not defend them.
Right.
This is what they know and we don't know about
Right.
our spirituality, our God. He's not going to fight for you. He's not going to reveal mysteries for you. He's not going to take you out your poverty if you in sin. So all these institutions create a way of life that's full of sin and iniquity for you to live. You know, so this knowledge is not coming from the Christian church because it was set up for you not to have this knowledge.
Right.
So you can remain in sin.
And that's
Again, the
another
chart-
level of us. When the Bible says about until we've been destroyed.
Right.
We weren't eating pork. We were forced to that. Now we're
Right.
so destroyed. It's like
Eat it
We're
willfully.
doing it
It's
freely.
lovely.
Yeah.
All they forced us to do back then, we do willingly now,
Yes. Yeah,
right.
based upon our destruction. Read that.
The charges against her were not eating pork and putting on clean linen on Saturdays.
When?
On Saturdays.
What was she keeping? The Sabbath.
Wow.
On Saturdays. On Saturdays. Because she was keeping the Sabbath Saturdays. Go ahead.
According to this woman, these charges were not heretical practices. She wanted to be clean, and pork made her sick.
So that's the reason why she didn't eat pork. They tortured her thinking that she was keeping Judaism secretly because Jews in secret kept the Sabbath on Saturdays and they didn't eat pork.
And she wanted to be clean. What I said about,
Right.
about Esau.
Right, letting you know what the Jews who were observing Jews, what we did. We kept the Sabbath on Saturday and we didn't eat no pork. Unlike you Christians today that say what? All food's clean now.
Just pray over it.
Let's pray over it. God made it good. It's good now. That's not what real Christians are doing back then. Go ahead.
Greasy pork chop eating pastors. Repent.
Right. Go ahead. Whenever now. Now we're going to whenever. Go ahead.
Whenever the Christian Jews could escape from Spain and Portugal beyond the reach of the Inquisition, they threw off the guise of Christianity and practiced Judaism openly,
Because we were free now. We were good. We ain't got to front no more. Go ahead.
as they did in Turkey.
So we fled. Remember, some of us fled to Turkey, areas of Europe. We fled there and we kept Judaism openly because we were safe.
And that's Acts 2 right there. Believing Jews from all
Right.
from
Well,
Greeks.
right. Exactly. Go
So
ahead.
they was going to go to Jerusalem to keep the Feast of Pentecost.
Right.
Well, in Turkey. Oh, this is Turkey here. But go ahead.
However, the
Oh, yeah,
unfortunate
you mean Acts 2. Yes.
Acts 2,
Pentecost.
right.
Yes. Go ahead.
Crete.
However, the unfortunate new Christians, nominal Christians, or secret Jews in Portuguese possessions in Western Africa, India, and elsewhere could not.
Wait. Can't go past that. However, the unfortunate new Christians, nominal Christians or secret Jews in Portuguese possessions in West Africa, India, and elsewhere could not throw off the disguise of Christianity. So you had Israelites that fled into West Africa and India too. And the Portuguese had colonies in India. Okay? So you had Israelites in India. Go ahead.
The Inquisition even dispatched its
Inquisitorial.
inquisitorial agents.
Stop. This is Christianity cops.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is SPLC, BBC, Mark Reiser, the apologetics. Those are inquisitorial agents. Those are inquisitorial agents. Go ahead.
To the Canary Islands,
Remember that earlier, the islands there, the colony, to the Canary Islands. Go ahead.
Madeira,
Madeira is, I believe, is an island off of Spain, I believe. Portugal, part of Spain and Portugal. Go ahead.
Guinea,
Guinea,
India,
India, they sent them there.
South America,
Brazil, they sent them there to follow us there. Go ahead.
San Tome,
Saint Tome Island. Go ahead.
and Angola,
West Africa.
in order to search out secret Jews.
So you have secret Jews living in these areas, living in Canary Islands, living in Madeira, living in Guinea, living in India, living in South America. We're going to leading into that soon. San Tome and Angola, in order to search out secret Jews to hunt us. To hunt. Give me that in Lamentations. They hunt our steps.
Like Bishop always said, what is a BHI talking about? There's no Jews in Africa
Or India.
or India, right?
Guys are imbeciles.
I remember Deacon Malachi had did a class about what happened, how the apostles died. And St. Thomas, I think he was buried
In India.
In India.
Yes, he had a school there, yes.
Yeah, he was buried in India, and this is where they built some kind of shrine.
Yes, in
some
honor of
Roman
him.
Catholic shrine over his grave.
Right.
Yeah. So our people's in India.
Yes, they
Proof.
were. That's why he went over there.
Lam-
Someone to Mauritania also. Africa. You know what it is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, read it.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps.
They what?
They hunt our
They
steps
hunt our steps.
that we cannot go in our streets.
And we can't go and we're not safe. We gotta hide, we gotta front like we're Christians, just to be safe in our own streets. Go ahead.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come.
Because they killed us. Go ahead.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven.
The inquisitors. Go ahead.
They pursued us upon the mountains.
They chased us wherever we ran. They chased us there. Go ahead.
They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
Uh-huh.
The breath of our nostrils are the anointed of the Lord was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked.
Go ahead.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Who's he no more? Edom. Edom. That's Spain and Portugal.
And
That's who it is.
The Most High described them.
He
Tell
said
you-
it clear who it
Yep,
is,
who
like
it is.
eagles.
Yep.
They will hunt you like eagles. It's not a coincidence he's used that word.
In verse 21, name him, eat him.
Yeah.
So he can't. If it'll be like, no, that's not them. You know.
Yeah. Read it again. What's his eagle?
Verse
19.
Verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the
They
mountains.
pursued us into Africa, and they pursued us in the Americas, into the mountains. Go ahead, jump down to verse 21. Who is this?
Verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
That's who he's talking to. That's who he's referring to. That's who we're reading about right now, who fell under the term Spanish, Portuguese, Vandals, Visigoths, same people.
And
Greeks.
All their symbols was
French.
the eagle.
Always the eagle. Always the eagle. Always the eagle. Now let's go back where we're at.
Got you. From 1561.
Yeah, we're gonna stop at South America. In South America, I think I was way too far down. Hold on. In order. Oh, 1 to 9. It is certain South America. Hold on. Yeah, read on.
Okay. From 1561 to 1623, about 3,800 individuals were tried. Many of them were Christian Jews of San Tome Island. They were charged with maintaining Jewish principles. Cecil Roth wrote that the Christian Jews immigrated to the Portuguese colony of Angola in West Africa, where agents of the Inquisition were sent to hunt them out in 1626.
You know who was doing this too? Paul. Paul was doing this too. Paul was an inquisitor too, of the Pharisees inside of the Pharisees.
Right.
He was sent to hunt us and get that in strange countries. I hunted them. Paul, Saul, did the same thing. They were preaching Christ, true Judaism, true genuine Judaism, versus Mosaic Judaism of the Pharisees. It's a strange cities, Jonathan. Strange cities.
Acts 26, I think.
Of course, he converted, and after he converted, they tried to kill him. The same place he came to hunt us at, they said, yo, this guy changed on us. He flipped on. Basically, the Lord flipped Paul. The Lord flipped him. He said, I'm going to turn this guy into one of my own. He's useful. He's a useful tool.
The book of Acts, start from verse 9. The book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 9. I verily thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Jesus of Nazareth.
He was sent to what? He was sent to inquisite, he was torturing. Paul was doing all that. Saul at the time was torturing people, hailing them to prison. He was hunting us down, getting us killed, and forcing us to do what? To denounce the Lord. The same thing the inquisitors are doing, Saul was doing under the Pharisees. Same exact thing. Because the spirit of the Pharisees is the same spirit as Esau. Same, that's why they work together so well. Go ahead.
Which thing I also did in Jerusalem, and many of the saints did I shut up in prison.
Got him locked up.
Having received authority from the chief priest.
He got permission, he got authority to do these things. Go ahead.
And when they were put to death, I gave my voice against
He
them.
testified to have them killed. And he had Stephen killed. Go ahead.
I punished them oft in every synagogue.
He beat them. This is an inquisition. This is an inquisition done by the Pharisees and them. And so is an inquisitor. Go ahead.
And compelled them to blaspheme.
And forced them to denounce the Lord, the Messiah. Go ahead.
And being exceedingly mad against them.
And Paul was crazy. He was so furious with the movement of Christ. Go ahead.
I persecuted them even unto strange
He
cities.
chased them. He hunted them. So he was so mad. He was crazy. Saul was freaking crazy. But the Lord said, this guy, man, I like him. I like his zeal. I'm going to use this guy. Then he became the victim of what he was doing. So Saul can relate a lot to the disciples because he was a persecutor. He was their freaking tormentor.
And that's when the people saw him, be like, wait a minute, is it that's the guy that was
Right.
killing us? They didn't believe him.
They didn't trust him.
Right.
When you jump down, it tells you. Well, I'm not sure what it is. They didn't trust him at first. They want to see him. They didn't want to see him at first. It goes Acts 9. Acts 9 says that.
Yeah.
Acts 9, they didn't trust him.
If you jump down to verse 21 real quick.
Verse 21. For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me.
They
Right,
wanted to kill
right.
his behind because they knew what he used to do.
Go to verse 20.
Verse 20. But shewed first unto them of Damascus and at Jerusalem and throughout all the coasts of Judea, and then to the Gentiles, that they should repent and turn to God and do works meet for repentance.
Go ahead.
For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me.
Right, because once he got converted over by the Lord, they said, you're going to kill this guy now. This guy was working for us. Now he's working for them. He's against us. So he became the victim of his own crimes. All right, so let's go back. Crazy, man. Let's go back to, let's go to, just read on down, read down.
Hey, Deke, so reading this, is it safe to say that some of these, inquisitors some of them could have been Israel?
They were Israel. You had Torquemada was one of them.
Wow.
He was the grand inquisitor. He was the top general inquisitor was Torquemada.
Wow.
Our own people. And some other guy, I forgot his name. I don't care about how much. Torquemada's the worst one. He's the worst of the two. I remember his name very well. And there was another guy named Torquemada I read about chapters ago. His name was Torquemada also. He was giving testimony as to how the Native Americans are Jews. He was a relative of Torquemada. I think his name is Juan Torquemada. I think you had Thomas Torquemada, I think is the demon I'm talking about, and Juan Torquemada was the one who came over here as a missionary and was teaching and saying that the Native Americans on this side of the world were Israelites also. It was the same family. That name is very common. All right? So read on.
Now, we can understand why writers like Frederick Ratzel considered the tribes along Loango and Cabinda, Loango and Cabinda coast Christians. These Jews had to maintain a Christian guise.
Wait. I'm sorry, where you at? You jumped down to now. Go to from 1561. From 1561.
From 1561.
After secret Jews.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, you skipped it. Go ahead.
From 1561 to 1623, about 3,800 individuals were tried. Many of them were Christian Jews of Saint Thome Island. They were charged with maintaining Jewish principles.
They were charged with maintaining Jewish principles. They were charged with being Jews. You cannot be a Jew anymore. You had to be a new Christian, a Spaniard now, a Portuguese man now. Go ahead.
Cecil Roth wrote that the Christian Jews immigrated to the Portugal colony of Angola.
To the Portuguese colony of Angola. Go ahead.
In West Africa, where agents of the Inquisition were sent to hunt them out in 1626.
Wow. Right. Well, agents of the Inquisition were sent out to hunt them in 1626. So they fled there. They were chased there. Read on. Now, just jump down to it is certain.
It is certain that many black Jews of Portugal, San Tome,
page 150. Hope you have that one.
Yes, right there.
All praises. Go ahead.
San Tome, hold on, and Angola, who became victims of the Inquisition and Portuguese persecution, were sold in the slave trade.
Ah, there you go.
Damn.
Israelites. There you go.
It is right there.
There's certain many black Jews of Portugal, San Tome, and Angola who became victims of the Inquisition and Portuguese persecution were sold in the slave trade.
Hey,
next, go ahead.
Well, just bring up a real point. When these apologetics is saying all we got is Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 28 is everything, because when you search out history, you see the curses is falling upon the chosen children of Israel.
Right.
And anywhere in the world that we ended up, the curse of Deuteronomy 28 was
Pursued
on
us.
us.
Yep.
So what do you mean is Deuteronomy 28 it? It's everything. It's
Right.
just not it. It's everything. You know?
Right, and it's everything in different times.
Right.
Throughout the ages, it's everything.
Yep.
28:15 and down is throughout the ages. It's not one time, you idiots. You don't read one curse that happened and it doesn't happen again. It happened multiple times upon the children. Read on. This Atlantic slave trade.
This Atlantic slave trade.
Stop. Stop. So you want to stop right there because I'm going to read it again. It is certain that many black Jews of Portugal, São Tomé, and Angola who became victims of the Inquisition and Portuguese persecution were sold in the slave trade. This Atlantic slave trade lasted more than 400 years. From 1444 to about 1880 in some parts of South America. So the Spanish Inquisition is the introduction to the transatlantic slave trade.
Damn.
Joel
Better
chapter
shut your
3.
white
You
mouth.
can't stop this truth, man. You cannot stop it. You can't say, oh, everything started in 1619. That is a lie.
Right.
It all started in 1391. It started in 1391. Esau got sick and tired of Judaizing Negroes. I'm tired of them. You must get rid of them. And the persecution increased 100 years later until they conquered us fully. The last stronghold of the Moors was 1492. That's 100 years later. 101 years later, excuse me. And then after that, they passed these decrees. Jews, get out of here. Then the Jews fled out of Spain into Portugal. Then the Portuguese said, if you want to come in here, pay us a poll tax, you're going to stay for 8 months. And then he gave us ships, few on purpose, so those who could not escape were sold in the slave trade, which led into the Atlantic slave trade, because the Portuguese took those same slaves they had in these areas and sold us to Ishmael, the Turks. And that established the trans-Saharan slave trade. So you had the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Arab Ishmael, and the Hamites selling us among themselves.
Can we read that, Joel?
Yeah, we're going to get it.
Okay.
Let's get it. Joel 3, let's get it.
So we're not using Deuteronomy 28 now.
No, we're going to use something else.
I was
And
gonna
since
say
you so nicely decide to want to bring out Joel 3, I'm going to drop the book that confirms it.
Bring it out,
The
Deacon.
white man knows what we're talking about in Joel 3. Joel 3, we're going to start from verse 2.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
To the valley of judgment. That goes into Armageddon. Josephat, go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people.
God's pleading is his destroying. God doesn't get on his knees and beg like R. Kelly. Pleading is him coming and killing people. That's how he pleads. Go ahead.
Is that going to march? No justice, no peace?
Right. God don't do marches. He marches on people. He don't march with people. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people.
And we'll plead with them and plead with the nations who scattered us for our sake. Go ahead.
And for my heritage, Israel.
And for his people, Israel. Go ahead.
Whom they have scattered among the nations.
Whom they have scattered among the nations. It's going to explain who the they is. Go ahead.
And parted my land.
And they parted his land. They parted his land. They parted our land among themselves, which is Jerusalem, which is part of Northeast Africa. And they parted our land we had when we had rulership in Africa entirely, and they parted our land when they came to this side of the world as Christians. North, South, and Central America also. But it's referring to our land primarily. Our land, as you're going to read on. It's referring to the Eastern Hemisphere, not the West. Read on.
And they have cast lots for my people.
And they cast lots for God's people. These are auctions. Deuteronomy 28 is everything.
That's right.
Everything. Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
And they made the boys breeders. The movie show called Mandingo. Edomite had our hand all in his drawers. Make sure his balls work. Make sure his rod works. His rod ain't cut off. Okay, he's a good specimen. He'll do fine with my nigga women, with my nigga children, slaves I got at home. Breeders. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine.
And sold our women for wine. Sold our women for wine. And got drunk and even raped our women, married or not.
Right.
Go ahead.
That they might drink.
That they might drink and be merry with our women. Go ahead.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Whatever you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon. So why is God asking that question? Because these nations understood, they understand, that God did not choose them as his people.
Right.
So as a payback against God, they said, well, if you ain't choose us, we're going to conquer your people. We're going to conquer them because you ain't choose us. You chose them over us. We were here first. Remember, Israel's the last nation. We're the youngest. Nation's like, oh, you chose that over us? No problem. We'll conquer them then because you allowed us to. Go ahead.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon,
Tyre and Sidon, go ahead.
and all the coasts of Palestine?
And all the coast of Palestine is the Turks. That's the Arabs. That's Ishmael. That's Ishmael there. Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense?
Because God didn't choose Ishmael either. And Ishmael was Abraham's firstborn. They hated us too. Why you pick him? We were born first. Isaac wasn't born first. We were born first. You picked them over us? What the hell with you then? We're going to enslave them too. Go ahead.
And if ye recompense me,
If you recompense me, pay me back for I sold my people into slavery. Go ahead.
swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
I'll get you back. I got something for you. Go ahead.
Because ye have taken my silver and my
They
gold.
conquered us. They conquered us. They burned our temple down to the ground. They robbed us, stole from us, took our possessions into their land. Like, for example, they took our land. You had the Israelis have our land. The Ishmaelites have our land. They built a temple on top of our temple. You can't make this up. Go ahead.
And have carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things.
And have carried into your temples my possessions that I gave my people. Go ahead.
The children also of Judah.
The children of Judah. That's how we know it's referring to Eastern Hemisphere. It's referring to the Eastern Hemisphere. The children of Judah, go ahead.
And the children of Jerusalem.
The children of Jerusalem, that's going to the Eastern Hemisphere. Go ahead.
Have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Who? Who sold us to the Grecians? Let's find out. I'm going to send it to you right now. Who is Tyre and Zidon? Tyre, which is Zidon, because Tyre is a city. Zidon or Zidonians are the people. Not two different nations, it's one nation. Tyre represents the Tyrians, which is the Canaanites. Zidonians are Canaanites. They were our mortal enemies from the Bible up until today. They are enemies. Those are the ones who resided in Dahomey. That's them. Now watch this. Hold on. Send y'all something real nice. Hold on a second. I'm gonna use it again too. I'm gonna use it multiple times actually. Give me 1 second. 1 second.
So you better shut your white mouth.
Shut your white mouth.
White mouth. Hey, there's a book too. I forget. We read it before. That, it states where they themselves. I don't know if it was the. They can't. It says it's either the Africans or the Arabs themselves. They read, and in their book they state how the nations know who we are.
Of course.
Because in that book they themselves said the reason they did what they did to us is because they read in our book, the Bible, that it is our destiny for this. It was our destiny for this to happen to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They state that clear as day.
Listen.
And there's a I don't know if y'all seen Bishop brought it up recently. I think it was yesterday, as a matter of fact, about that show called Them.
Yes.
And in that show, they show a clip where the cracker actually reads something.
Don't tell me.
Oh, no. Oh,
man.
Tell me nothing, man.
All right. Well,
You and the bishop are the worst, man. Bishop's the worst. He spoils everything, man.
It sounds so good. I'll take the spoils.
Bro, listen. Once he mentioned it, me and my wife started watching. We watched it till we finished. All 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it today. The kids
Yo,
are
it's
not gonna watch
bad.
it today. The
It's
white
bad.
kids are gonna watch it. 1 second.
You're going to like that. But yeah, they clearly know who we are.
1
man.
second.
Yep.
1 second.
Hey, did not one fake Jew out there ever go through any of this?
Yep.
None of
I
this.
got it. I sent it to y'all. I got you. We're gonna go on break after this. After I drop this bomb, we're gonna go on break. I don't
Hey.
want you to show everything though. Hold on a second.
Y'all better be on them controls. Get ready.
Go to page 217.
That dude should get fired, man. Under control. You gotta
Page
get fired, bro.
217.
I'm telling the dude, man, drop
Okay,
something.
go
You're
to page,
looking at me like,
page 217. Go on your left hand side. You're gonna
Got no
see
clue.
underlines. Page 217. Go to your left.
no clue.
I want you to cut this other side off. I don't want the other side shown. Move it over. Blow it up more. Where it can just show. If you can't, that's fine. Move it over. All I want is one side. Yeah, so all I want is that. Okay. Now, start from now. Now go up to the top of the page where it says, to the top of the page, you see the topic of the page. Africa, right? Now go down. This is referring to Africa.
Yeah, that book look old.
Now this is an encyclopedia that goes back as far as, I think, 1930, I think 1930 to earlier, which is not bad. But I was when we first saw this when we first Googled this, we thought it was a prank. We thought that someone just wrote it there and said, they just made up a book and just put it there. But so I bought an encyclopedia, and it was the same one, but it was a different year. So what Esau does is, over years, Esau will make the same encyclopedia, different editions. It's different year. It's the same encyclopedia, but certain years he'll take things out. So we had to get the older one. The one I had was the present one. I got to get the older one, 20 years younger one. And it has it. Okay? Now, remember Joel 3, how the Tyrians, the Sidonians of Tyre, with the Palestinians, sold us to the Grecians. The Grecians are the ancestors of the Portuguese or Greco-Romans. It's the same people. That's why the Bible refers to the Spanish crown as the Hispano-Romans. It showed you that weeks ago. They're referred to as Hispano-Romans, Romans of Spain. Now, read Nile Valley. Start there.
The Nile Valley, an area of highly specialized Hamitic and Semitic culture, little affected by Negro Africa.
So you have, the bishop mentioned it last night. He mentioned Nilotes. Nilotes are Hamites. Esau is showing you the differentiation between Ham and Shem in Africa. Hamitics are Nilotics, the indigenous inhabitants of Africa, or the further indigenous. Doing a freaking Abaddon now.
Yeah, you're getting excited. That's why it is.
Yeah, I'm getting excited. They are the indigenous Aboriginal inhabitants of the Nile valleys, which is the further interiors of Africa. Remember, Israel is northeast Africa, and it spreads further east. All right? The Hamites had northeast Africa, part of that, and further northwest. Until Israel, over time, with Carthage and the Moors, and under Islam and so forth, we took over all of that and went as far and went deep into Spain, Portugal, France, Scotland, Ireland. We took all that over, and we had Rome also. And Rome had jurisdiction over many lands, so we had the whole earth on lock. All right, and Native Americans, and this, not to mention Northern Kingdom on this side of the world were ruling also. So we had everything on lock. Read it again.
The Nile River.
The Nile Valley,
an area of highly specialized Hamitic and Semitic culture, little affected by Negro Africa.
Come on, anthropologists.
Anthropologists have disputed considerably respecting the effects of Egyptian culture on Negro Africa.
So you had effects of Egyptian culture on Negro Africa. Go ahead.
And on regions outside the African continent.
Like Spain, Portugal, go ahead.
Egyptian culture, which began about 6,000 years ago, have been profoundly affected by the Persian, Greek, Roman, and Arab conquests.
So it says Egyptian culture, which began about 6,000 years ago, has been profoundly affected by Persian, Greek, Roman, because the Persians came and ruled. The Greeks came after that. Rome came after the Bible. Persians came after that. Remember, you had Babylon, then you had Persia, Greece, then Rome. That's New Testament. Then after that, you had the Arab conquest. That's us ruling as the Moors. Then after the Moors, then the Turks came into power. Ottoman Turks came into power. That's Arab conquest. Go ahead, number 2.
A region of northern Hamites.
Stop. A region of northern Hamites. Northern Hamites. Watch this.
Known to the early Egyptians as Libyans.
Libyans is Put, a child of Ham. So the Esau knows the Libyans are Hamites. He knows this. Go ahead.
And now as Berbers.
Because remember, the original inhabitants of Mauritania was Ham. Before Israel went on there. Remember we read earlier how what's her name? Queen Daya, she united both Semitic and Hamitic Berbers to fight against Rome and against the Arab invasion. She united both Hamitic and Semitic, meaning Israelite, Berbers to fight the uprising of Islam until she was eventually killed. All right, read on, read again.
A region of northern Hamites known to the early Egyptians as Libyans and now as Berbers.
Except the Berbers, the Hamite Berbers, not Semite Berbers, but Hamite Berbers. Go ahead.
The influences deeply affecting the culture of this region are Phoenician.
Stop. So initially, the Egyptian culture thrived in Africa because Egypt was a ruling power. Remember, the Hamites, you Egyptians are Hamites. So the Libyans brought that culture all the way throughout Africa. That influence spread throughout Africa until the Babylonians came and conquered the Egyptians. The Persians came. The Greeks came. Rome came. Then Islam came. So the Egyptian influence in Africa fell. It faltered. It got weak. Gone. Then it says up until the time with the Libyan Hamite Berbers, children of Put, that eventually died off also. Read on. The what?
The influences deeply affecting the culture of this region are Phoenician.
So what deeply affected the region, Africa, the influence that came in were the Phoenicians. That's Israelites. We brought our culture in there and pushed Egyptian culture out. Because we became what? The ruling dominant power in Africa. So Phoenicians was us. We came in there. Go ahead.
Egyptian.
The Egyptians also.
Greek.
The Greeks also.
Byzantine.
Byzantine, that's the Black Rome.
Roman.
White Rome.
And Mohammedan Arab.
And Islam. Go ahead.
The common-keeping cultures of the Sahara, which on the grounds of physical types of people, languages, and minor differences in modes of life, give 3 subregions.
Go ahead.
Tuareg.
Tuareg is Ishmael. That's Ham. Go ahead.
Tebu.
That's more Ham. That's Libyans. Go ahead.
Tibu, of whom the Teda are a northerly branch of the Tabesti Plateau.
These are Hamites that mix around with Arabs. We don't actually see. It's gonna say it.
Arabs of the Libyan oasis.
Arabs of the Libyan oasis. Go ahead.
An open country between desert and forest, a region of pastoral nomads.
Right. Go down. So Ham and Ishmael mingled together and made Tuaregs. These are Hamites, pure Hamites that mingled with Ishmael when Ishmael came with Islam. All right. And then eventually, of course, with the help of the Moors being in the armies, they intermingled. They're around today. They're in Libya today. They're in parts of Mali. They're all over the place. But they're Ham and they're pure Ham and Ishmael mixed together. Go down a little bit. Now go over to the right and go up to the top. Now go over to the right. Next paragraph. Get that out. Go over to the top. Don't spoil it now. Go down and go into the culture of Negro culture. Right there. Stop right there. Read there.
Negro culture. By culture, an anthropologist means the total intellectual, spiritual, social, industrial, and economic background.
So anthropology is the understanding of the total intellectual, spiritual, social, industrial, and economic background of a people. So the study of anthropology is all of that. Their economy, their intellectuality, their spirituality, their religion, how they socialize, how they work, industrialize, all of that. For Arabs, go ahead.
For Arabs and other Mohammedans, some of whom are Negroes and Hamites.
See that? These are Muslims. For Arabs and other Mohammedans, Arabs who are, or Muslims, of whom are Negroes and Hamites. Wait a minute. Let's stop there for a moment. Why is the author putting Negroes and Hamites separately? Shouldn't we be Hamites?
Correct.
How you have Hamites and Negroes separate? That's a very, very odd writing, wouldn't you say? Aren't we children of Ham? Read on.
The whole cultural outlook is determined by Quranic teaching.
Quranic as in the Quran. Go ahead.
See Quran,
Mohammedanism. Go ahead.
Mohammedanism.
But Negroes. Stop. Not Hamites, but Negroes. Go ahead.
When unaffected by Quranic law,
When we're not did not convert to Islam. Go ahead.
have a cultural background of their own.
Have a cultural background of their own.
Right.
Which is what? The Bible. Hold on. The Bible. I don't care what they say here. It's the Bible.
That's
Right.
Go ahead.
Which they built long before European interference.
Which they had long before the white man showed up. Long before the Portuguese showed up. We had our own culture. Our own culture. Go ahead.
The chief factors in Negro culture affect the lives of at least 100 million people.
Right, go ahead.
And though local differences are considerable, the following elements are basic.
So we had various different parts. Our culture was all the same everywhere. Millions of us in Africa. Some differences, but primarily all the same. It was the Bible. Variations of biblical application throughout Africa of millions of Negroes, not Hamites. Read this. Watch this.
Sexual life.
Among Negroes.
There is a regular system of betrothal and legalized marriage.
Legalized betrothal and marriage.
Bring it out.
Why is it legal? Because it's according to the Bible.
That's right.
why. It's gonna get better. Just bear with me. Go ahead.
Polygamy is an orderly arrangement.
Stop. Polygamy was an orderly arrangement. It wasn't you having a woman over here, woman over there, you banging that one over there, and you banging over here. She don't know about her. She don't know about that one. That's not an orderly polygamy. That's a girlfriend you call a wife. That's all that is. Read again.
Polygamy is an orderly arrangement.
And what?
And not promiscuity.
And not sleeping around with throwing your rod all over the place. Right. It's not promiscuity like you Negroes in Israel today. It is not promiscuity when you throw your rod over here and there and go, that's my wife over there.
Right. Dealing with the laws of God, you dealing with order.
Right. Order. Right. Read on.
Divorce is a legal, orderly procedure.
That's it.
Not I put her away because, I put her away because she don't believe. No, brother. No, I put her away because, she don't believe, and she don't say the name enough. She don't say the name enough. So I put her away. No. What? No. Let's jump down. Education. We got education of children, many curious customs around pregnancy and childbirth. Come on, man. Wait. Go back up. Many curious customs. It's not curious customs. It's biblical customs.
That's right.
Esau's curious. He's like, yo, who are these people? Curious. It's peculiar customs.
That's right.
And that's why Esau focused on destroying the marriage in the black community.
Right.
Yep. Hey, so
Now, we don't read the whole thing here, matter of fact. Go ahead. You
Education
want to say
of,
something real quick, officer?
nah, I'll wait till
All right.
you finish.
Yeah, I finished.
I want to
this.
sum it up.
All right, go ahead.
education of children. Many curious customs surround pregnancy and
Did
childbirth.
we not have laws regarding pregnancy and childbirth in the Bible?
Yes.
We did. Have curious customs regarding that. Go ahead.
The attitude toward twins has been variable among different tribes.
Go ahead. Remember, twins. The attitude among twins.
Twins, Esau and Jacob.
Yup, go ahead.
In some units, they and their mother were murdered.
Wow, go ahead.
Other tribes regarded twins as lucky. Home influence is strong in inculcation of good manners and respect for elders.
Home influence is strong in inculcation of good manners and respect for elders. Unlike today, go ahead.
And also, unlike the curses, when the other nation came, they had no respect for the elders of our nation.
Right.
No respect at all.
And that's Deuteronomy too, when it says has no regard for
Old and young.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Go ahead.
During the puberty rites, there are separate camps for boys and girls.
Separate camps. They were kept divided, kept separate. Go ahead.
The former suffer privations and hardships.
Boys.
They are beaten and made to search for food.
Go ahead. They're trained, they're groomed to be hunters. Go ahead.
There is daily instruction in tribal lore, and the seclusion terminates with drumming and dancing in mass costumes.
We had our own weird customs also on top of that. Now go down to the bottom. Slowly. Social conflicts. We start off there. Stop right here. Hold on. It ends there? Right there? Read from the top. Social conflicts.
Social conflicts.
Stop. Social conflicts. Remember, Israel fled from Spain and Portugal into Africa. We ran into who? The Turks, the Arabs, Islam. We ran to them. And we also ran to Hamites that were already there, that we conquered, right? We don't watch this.
Warfare and headhunting have been the social conflicts, both now controlled by European governments.
Controlled by who?
European governments.
Controlled by European governments in Africa. Go ahead.
The greatest military organizations were those of the Maasai in East Africa and of the Zulus in the South.
That's Shaka and them. And the Zulus in the South. Watch this.
In Dahomey.
In Dahomey. In Dahomey. Hamites had us conquered in Dahomey. Watch this.
West Africa.
Women what?
Women called Amazons formed part of the standing army.
See? Wow. See that? He cut their breasts off and made them part of his standing army. That's where they get it from. Wonder Woman got it from.
Yep.
And Black Panther got it from that. The Amazons were in his army. Our women's breasts were cut off, and they were forced to fight in the military of the Hamites who conquered us. and killed the elders. We're going to get more details on that another time. But watch this here. Read the rest of this. Read the part I want the most. Slavery what?
Slavery was due to raids of Arabs and Hamites on Negro communities.
Damn.
Damn.
Jamal 3.
Oh, man.
Damn.
I gotta go
Jamal
over there, man. Get that thing from you, bro.
And they need a Tommy gun
Slavery
and all
was
types of
due
bombs.
to raids of Arabs and Hamites on Negro communities. The children of Judah and Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians.
Shut your white mouth.
Hey, we going to the end?
Read again, please. I'm gonna read the rest of it.
Yep.
Slavery was due to raids of Arabs and Hamites
Of Ishmael and Tyre and Zidon. Go ahead.
on Negro communities.
On Judah and Jerusalem in Africa. Read on.
A form of domestic slavery existed among Negroes themselves.
We had servants among ourselves. Leviticus 25. We had our own servants. Go ahead. Watch this.
The slaves were prisoners of war.
Because we had civil wars among ourselves. We were divided among ourselves in Africa. So we fought each other. We took prisoners of war and made them either in jail or made them our slaves. Go ahead.
Criminals.
We had criminals. We had murderers. We had rapists. We had all of that among us. Criminals. Go ahead.
And those who could not.
Next page. 218. Those who could not what? Load up some more. Move it over to the left. Those who could not what?
And those who could not pay their debts.
Who were poor. Go ahead.
To other members of the tribe.
That's Leviticus 25. When you go into debt, you put yourself in servitude and you work it up until Jubilee. We had that. All right? So we had our own form. So read the next part here. Religion. Read religion. Watch this.
Religion. The religious beliefs of Negroes.
Of who?
Of Negroes.
Who were sold by Arabs and Hamites. Go ahead.
Include a recognition of a supreme being.
Of a what?
A supreme being.
A supreme being. God himself. The Bible. Go ahead.
But he is remote.
But he what?
But he is remote.
But the God is is what?
Is remote and little concerned with human affairs.
Because remember, we started going the hell off. We had our own ideology of how God operates. Right. Go ahead.
The essence of religion is worship of ancestors who are thought to live in close contact with this world.
Start bugging the hell out. Go ahead. Yep.
The deceased are jealous of prayer and sacrifice and are able to influence human welfare.
So that's why we got certain slavery. See, start going the hell off and Hamite stuff. That's all I wanted. Right. So when we did sell our brothers off into slavery, it was because they either paid debt, they had debts due, they were criminals, prisoners of war. That's what we sold to the white man. That's what we sold. We didn't sell everybody. And what ended up happening, and we also sold our war captives. It would be counterproductive for Israel as a kingdom to sell their people off just random to another nation. Don't make no sense. But what ended up happening was some of us didn't know that what was happening to us when they got sold. And then you had other factions of our people, very few, who also were greedy and would also help the Hamites snatch at their own people and sell them off. And they themselves got sold off in the process too. They didn't benefit from that.
Right.
No one did.
Right.
All right, so we're going to end it there and take a break there and take a break with you guys. Cool. You can come back and y'all can text us any questions you have or call. I prefer a text though. All right? So stay tuned.
Yep.
History.
Shalom Israel, no son, Christ bless. Deacon Don here of IUIC Philadelphia. You're tuned in to Our Hidden History Radio, where we go into deep understanding and history of who we are, according to the Bible, the hidden artifacts, archaeology, the geography, all you can think of that shrouds around our history of the Bible. We go into it in depth. So Israel, like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel, Our Hidden History Radio. See you then. Shalom, no son, Christ bless.
So you men want to be soldiers of the Lord. It takes hard work. It takes discipline. So the hell is this? See, you looking like LL Cool J, and you got your boot band on your damn pocket. You want to be a soldier of the Lord?
Yes, sir.
Fix your damn shirt. These men are going to show you how to be a soldier of the Lord.
You a brother, let's say a year and a half. You're looking or wanting to be raised up to a soldier. If you're not doing the work of a soldier as a brother, don't look to be raised up to a soldier.
Join God's army on a mission. You gotta keep the laws before you go and start fishing. It's more than just speaking God's words on the curb. Before you can lead, you gotta learn how to serve. You wanna be a soldier. Soldier. He say they wanna be a soldier. Soldier. Well, tell them how to do it. First, get your mind right, then get your grind right. Understand now and stop depending on your hindsight. Nights gonna be colder than the Klondike. Days gonna be hotter than the limelight. Now is when the time's right. Walking through the rain and not need an umbrella. Dark cloud over our people, don't need no Cinderellas. Need action, no excuses. Need leaders, not slackers. Need soldiers in the army of God, no going backwards.
Okay, say you wanna be a soldier, still on fire, never getting colder, huh? Repent, playtime is over, since way you down, feel like a boulder. Humble down, that's what's gonna mold you. Rebuke strike quick like cobras. No sleep, gotta sip that Folgers. Whole Israel on your shoulders, whoa. Word of God, that's the lethal weapon. Your people sick, yep, they need injection. Prophet, that's your new profession, cause the heretics, they coming with deception. Gotta wake them up, it's time out for resting. Grab infamy to teach a lesson. You a God, put away the stressing. Chase the kingdom and take your blessing.
Join God's army on a mission. You gotta keep the laws before you go and start fishing. It's more than just speaking God's words on the curb. Before you can lead, you gotta learn how to serve. You wanna be a soldier. Soldier. He say they wanna be a soldier. Soldier. Well, tell them how to do it.
You gotta humble down and listen. Can't do this for recognition. Every battle, every mission, you a soldier. No calling off, cause duty calls all for one and one for all. No standing down, we standing tall for the one who chose us. New levels, new devils, trials help you to develop. Orders purge out the rebels, history showed us. Closing thoughts is what you meant to be. No more cry about what he did to me. Gird up thy loins, wait for your ministry.
Gotta die daily and lay off the works of the flesh. Study to prove yourself, cause every day is a test. Life is worse than the curses, but in this truth I feel blessed. The old man is worn out, but the new man is refreshed. Change your mindset from just me to we. You only think about yourself, then you need to leave. We here to gather all our people from sea to sea, to the return of Jesus Christ, yeah, the King of Kings. Join God's army on a mission. You gotta keep the laws before you go and start fishing. It's more than just speaking God's words on the curb. Before you can lead, you gotta learn how to serve. You wanna be a soldier. Soldier. He say they wanna be a soldier. Soldier. Well, tell them how to do it. Join God's army on a mission. You gotta keep the laws before you go and start fishing. It's more than just speaking God's words on the curb. Before you can lead, you gotta learn how to serve. You wanna be a soldier. Soldier. He say they wanna be a soldier. Soldier. Well, tell them how to do it.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God,
So the Lord said, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. Go ahead.
that he may exalt you in due time.
God gives the promotion. God does the exalting. So if a brother passes, all praise to the Most High. The Lord saw fit for that brother to be raised up.
I signed up to be a dasher.
See the whole creation waiting on the manifestation of the sons of God, the same spirit. In the spiritual war unto the spiritual powers, get it down to be go make nations bow. Beat in the dust and powder. Crawl on your belly like a serpent, coward. No scar face, this earth is ours. Fogging on heads like the turf was flowers. Walls of the city, they great and high. I go up and down, it's a close encounter. Prophecies I see fulfilled. We lifting up the banner on this here mountain. John 7:38, rivers and fountains flowing through the city like a pyramid bounty. Going through the city just to seal them, counting. That's a lost penny on the ground. 2020 blitz, me on fist. So in there, catch 153 big fish. Living millstone, turn around, they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bully, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Rank skin forward. If you at home, sleep, what you in this for? cause it ain't no peace till we win this war. 2020 blitz, give me on fist. So a net catch 153 big fish. Living me a stone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bully, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks get full. If you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Real recognize real and they unfamiliar. Brothers fold like dollar bills for 30 pieces of silver. I ain't got no hatred for you, your own works will kill you. You'll sin now and pay later cause the Lord will bill you. That's enough, I'm about to head to Memphis. I'm done addressing these false brothers, they so pretentious. Our people dying, they need prophets to bring the census. The cost of sin is your life and that's too expensive. Christ paid it with his life, he paid those expenses. But only for the Israelites who follow repentance. For these preachers still lying, ain't no happy ending. I'm Gary Payton with the gospel, I'm set to defend it. The deacon put the order out, so I'm on the mission. A lot of brothers on the couch just scratching and itching, rolling round like a door swinging on the hinges. And if the shoe fits, I hope they get offended.
Not no more. Not no more. Who's the king? Who's the king? What time is it? What time? And if you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Yeah, we got that fire, so don't run from the scripts. They get the gun from your hip, get hit with the fire. Let the fire that come from a clip, but the fire that come from my lips, so we ready to blaze. When that alarm erupt, that mean it's time that we armor up. Yeah, these heaters be really thinking they harming us, but our God won't allow them to tarnish us. They gon' honor us, so we advise them to let go. It was awesome to get go. It'll be the Omega when they see that purple and gold with the boots on the ground like a step show. Echo, let's go, take over the planet. Just as long as the Lord behind us, these heathens can't stand it. And we gon'
blitz, give me on fist. So a net catch 153 big fish. Living me a stone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bully, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks get full. And if you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace till we win this war. 2020 blitz, give me on fist. So a net catch 153 big fish. Living me a stone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bully, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks get full. And if you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Nice to meet you, Mr. War and Peace. Tell me one thing, how do we war and peace? The lions roaring while they sleep and count sheep. Kings and priests, I'd rather chill and sip the grape's blood. But the word of God is sitting on my taste buds. Got this little light of mine, I let it shine like the new moon. Not your average Jew dude, this brute food. The man of war fed me manna. Now I'm ready, this ain't playtime, but blitz. Pulled a hit stick, Mike Vick to a K9.
Calling all soldiers from the SIP to California, from the bottom of the map to the desert, Arizona. Here to prophesy of war, famine, pestilence like Rona. You a goner if you ain't willing to mortify your members, make them quiver, cause it ain't no peace. You looking at your priest, no more hiding in the corner. We in your face on Beale Street, now feel me when I say you better repent, or that's the end of your existence. We blitzing 2020 down in Tennessee, Memphis. Give me a fish, so a net catch 153 big fish. Living me a stone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bully, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks get full. And if you at home,
time. I think it's time. We out here killing each other. I think it's time for this. So everybody on my Facebook Live, I'm with you.
We the black man in Memphis, Tennessee. What you seeing is the man of God.
When the trumpet sound or the prophet start, we touch it down on every corner. Late night and early morning with 100 scriptures for a damn scorner. At the class, we ain't tired yet, watch us roll out like a transformer. Beale Street, here we go again, down in Memphis 10 where we getting it in. Prophesying till we get the win, prophesying till the kingdom won. Ghost rider when I'm hitting camp, where the God fire coming on my tongue. 30 days, we ain't misses none, hitting every city and everywhere. In the winter, we don't give a curve when they call for duty, St. Louis third.
This a call for the just. Time running out, going hard in the clutch. Ain't nobody else going harder than us. Can't stop, won't stop like a bomb on a bus. Speed. Yo, pedal to the flow, it don't matter where we go. The word going out, yeah, we gotta let them know if it's a one-way trip, then it's how I gotta go. We put our life on the line. No, you can't break through this line. This for the deaf and the blind. We can't be wasting no time. You better make up your mind. We stay on the grind. We on go while you stalling. Gotta make sure of my calling, we won't lose. Yeah, I know they wanna kill us when they see us, but they really wanna be us cause we do what they don't do. We just do what we supposed to. You can hate if you want to. We produce more fruit like Whole Foods. Yeah, the end will be close to. Many call, but he chose few. From city to city, we making moves. Hit the streets, then we breaking tools. Scripts kicking like taking tools. So much purpose, we make the news. Repent or die, we don't make the rules. Blitz, give me on fish, so a net catch 153 big fish. Living me a stone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bully, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks get full. And if you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Welcome Welcome to the lion's den. Fix your face, you OKC, we on the rise again. We in the scripts and in them streets, the section doctrine saying. Hidden history, we teach rebuilding lives again. Love. It's hammer time if you ain't know enough. This the book of our fathers, and yeah, we keep it opened up. I like shine like Bruce Lee, Roy, and show enough. Come up to the prophets, correct, or get cold cut. Them cold cuts.
So if you at home sleep, what you in this for? See, it ain't no peace, so you in this war. Sick tired, these dead bodies scattered on the floor. Got enough dead brothers, I don't want no more. That's a parable for Egypt and how it all relates back to Memphis. That's why you see the prophets out blitzing with no intermission. IUIC on the mission, so start what you're doing, just listen. Don't come to pay attention. Don't be confused when you catch on the street with a meat that was sin because the Lord seek vengeance. They're still waking up the valley of the dry bones. We the real Jews coming straight out the trenches. It's a hard not life, but we out here when to just keep the command, stop sinning. Only few was chosen, but when the Lord called,
gotta fight this fight, gotta win this war. When I swing this hammer, gonna hit like Thor. Better get your camera to hit record. Cause it ain't for glamour when I lift this war. This a Memphis blitz, you can get hit quick. We avengers for the nations, dodging the fiery dots of Satan like a ninja in the Matrix. I walk the walk, I talk the talk like Devo, I'm a bullet. Like a lasso stretch, I'ma cast the net, find Nemos and I pull it. I walk the walk, I talk the talk like Devo, I'm a bullet. Like a lasso stretch, I'ma cast the net, find Nemos and I pull it.
No, we not like you, we different disciples. It's not in the Bible, we don't entertain. Not here to fight with you, nor to be tight with you. See that we blitzing, no need to explain. We don't dislike you, we just don't align with you. Tend to your business, acknowledge our lane. Can two walk together unless they agree? When you get this meaning, then you do the same. We out here to wake up our people, don't play with no evil. That don't compute with our brains. We focus on feeding our family these strips. If this ain't your focus, then we ain't the same. I keep it 180%. You know the camp out here bringing this change. It ain't to diminish the work that y'all do, but you must repent if you seek to be saved.
2020 blitz, in me on fist. So a net catch 153 big fish. Ripping millstone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see did it sink that quick. Bill Street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks getting forward. And if you at home sleep, what you in this for? Cause it ain't no peace, so we win this war. 2020 blitz, in me on fist. So a net catch 153 big fish. Ripping millstone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see did it sink that quick. Bill Street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Ranks getting forward. And if you at home sleep, what you in this for? Cause it ain't no peace, so we win this war.
Nothing you just did. You totally disagreed, or let me say it this way. You went against everything I told you to do. You disregarded me as a spiritual father, spiritual leader, and all I can say right now for you, bro, you're gonna suffer the consequences.
Hey, shalom, baby. Babe, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of it.
You always say you're gonna take care of it. You say you're gonna take care of everything all the time.
And it's always taken care of. That's why we're still here.
I'm sick of this.
Dream me a dream for better days. Pray me a pray for Jah fi pass my way. Oh please won't you come to save me from my misery. Too long me day in a slavery and I gone astray.
Samurai, man of fierce. Flex pan the devil with the spiritual muscle. Warfare with the demon, them we a tussle. Jadep on one side, see it and I get defeat. They got great feel with enemies, grab a shovel. Get them all the shirt off of your back, them still I love you. Bite the hand we feed them, turn around and them a bust. Never get that chance to get me learn me lesson.
All right, we're back from the break, back from the break. We're going to start off, we left off with Arab and Hamite invasions into Negro communities. That's what led into the slave trade. The sub-Saharan as well, which predates the transatlantic. But we're going to get Deuteronomy 28, verse 68 to, and then we're going to get 64.
Real quick, if I may, Deke. So to summarize what
you want
we
to
read,
summarize, yes.
Yes. To summarize what we just read in that book is that you dumb asparagus apologetics.
You better
You're
shut
stupid.
your white mouth.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're stupid. You're no anthropologist because you've seen a breakdown of how an anthropologist dissect a culture of people. You're dumb behinds. You stuck to Galatians. That's the only thing you see about the Israelites where you want to confound the Israelites in Galatians. That just proved to you you're dumb. Shut your white mouth. That's it.
Roy,
have a nice day.
68.
You better shut your white mouth.
There you go.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
He back.
68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Right, so the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again, this time by way of ships. The first time we walked in, this time we're going to be shipped in. Go ahead. Egypt goes into bondage. Exodus 20 and 2. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And there, by way of those ships being brought into Egypt again or bondage again, you shall be sold by what?
Unto your
You shall be
enemies.
sold by way of those ships unto your enemies. Go ahead.
For bondmen
Slave men,
and bondwomen.
slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
Now, I'm gonna give you some more. Since we're closing the Passover out, I'll give you some gifts. Feast day gifts, real quick. This is in my mind. I got a book right here. This is called Black Holocaust. I'm gonna give you the book. Black Holocaust by S.E. Anderson delves heavy into the Atlantic, Sub-Saharan, and Chinese slave trade. And since we already touched on the Arab and Hamites raiding Negro communities, right? We'll get verse 64 after
Verse 64?
that. Look, we finished 68. Finish it off. We didn't finish it off. And there, what?
And there
By way of those ships,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies. For bondmen
slave men
and bondwomen.
off those ships. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall be able to redeem you out of that condition because they'll be a slave right along with you. Because when your brothers are sold off into slavery or servants, a brother can come behind and redeem him and buy him out of it. Now, if we're both in slavery, we can't redeem each other. Now, no one can get us out of it until the Lord shows up. He'll deliver us and redeem us. Now, the Lord is our Jubilee now. So now, I want to get real quick regarding the ships. I know we usually read about the white man and his ships, but I don't want to go into white man. I want to touch on something else.
Yeah, also, y'all stupid. It just hit me in the head because you're no anthropologist because you still can't distinguish the Negroes in the Nilotic tribe. That's what just popped up into my head.
Right.
The anthropologists know there was a difference between the Hamitic people and the Negroes.
Right.
You dumb asparagus people.
That's right. Tell them why you mad.
Did
Tell them why I'm
copy
mad.
that? You're stupid.
Roy.
4, 6. Hold on. 6.
We'll put this to the
And
most side.
you still wanted him to read 68 before you
64.
64 before you get that deep?
They got to copy a lot. They got to take pictures of a lot. So y'all might as well go ahead and take over for a little while. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask y'all questions while they do this.
Right.
It's the perfect time to do it.
Do we have any questions that popped up?
Put the number up.
Here we go, page 40. 40.
That's it right there?
No, I can't see there.
That's for last week?
Yeah, they got put the number up again.
40.
The number is 267-702-6121. Once again, the number is 267-702-6121. If you have any questions, text this number, and we'll get you in contact with the deacon.
And also, like Deacon always says, let's keep it in context to what we're bringing out.
Right, man. Any other sidebar questions, man, I will ignore it.
All right, let's keep it in context
We'll skip
to
it.
what
So
we
be
are
mindful
bringing
of
out
that.
today.
Right.
All right, we're going to scan 31 to 40. It's a lot, but I want you to do it. Here you go. Take a picture of 31 to 40, that book there. So while they're doing that, and they're going to put it up, you guys can post your statements as the show ends at 3:30. It's almost 3 o'clock, so do it now. Read verse 64. Want to do that?
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Right, when we heard earlier in Joel 3 and 2 that they will scatter us among the nations. They scattered us and parted our land. Go ahead.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other.
From the one end of the earth, one side of the world, even unto the other side of the world. The sub-Saharan slave trade is a very, very, very least talked about slave trade. Very much. Because that slave trade was basically the Eastern Hemisphere. The world tends to focus on the Western because the majority of Israelites were taken to that side. Thus, the scripture being fulfilled, hear the voice of Judah. The truth started on this side. The truth started in America. The truth didn't start in Africa. That's how we know that most of the tribes are here. If the tribes were anywhere else, the truth would have started there. Right? So the majority of the 12 are here. And remnants of that majority are everywhere else. Thus the term remnants. You know, like, for example, this water bottle here, right? Before I opened it, that was the whole bottle, right? Now, when I'm done, what's left in the bottom, that's remnants. You understand? The majority is in my stomach, and the remnants are in the bottle.
Right.
Hope you understand that. I know you got to talk to Israel like they're retarded. Because they are retarded.
Do you understand
Okay,
the
we
word
got
that's coming out of
my mouth? Exactly.
You want us to finish the verse before you get the question?
Okay.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
How he used the nations to do it. Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
Then there you shall serve other gods. Go ahead.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Islam is new and Christianity is new. Go ahead.
Even wood and stone.
Wood is the Christian cross. Stone is the Kaaba stone. Islam, the most popular, renowned religions on the earth.
Right.
All right, that's it. Wood and stone.
We're going to take a question right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
This question is from Soldier Joshua from Columbus, South Carolina. When we were reading From Babylon to Timbuktu page 117, why did it say Leo Africanus was a Moorish converted Jew?
That's not the same Leo Africanus. This is a different. That's Scipio Africanus. Right. This Leo Africanus was a Jew. Remember, we had Spanish names. We had Roman names. He was a Jew named Leo Africanus. He was a cartographer. He dealt with maps. So Leo Africanus, that was our brother. But the Leo Scipio Africanus was the one that conquered Hannibal. That's way before him. That's way earlier. That's earlier. The same name, but different people.
Right.
All right? Not the same person. It's not Scipio Africanus, not Leo Scipio Africanus. Not him. Not the one who conquered Hannibal. Right. Not him. There was a family of Scipios. That's different. He's different. He's a Jew. We took on those names. We took on Latinized names, the Jews.
All right. Here's another one. We don't have a name for this one, but hello, Deacon and officers. Can you please look into Aduduwa, the father of Yoruba people?
Aduduwa, okay.
Yeah. I believe he is the same Zua Aliman, if I'm saying that right.
Oh, Zua Alaman.
Alaman, the Jew from Yemen mentioned in the Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 2.
Maybe.
Aduduwa was from Yemen.
Okay. Well, Yemen's right across from Ethiopia. Right across the water, so, okay.
Definitely. I guess we'll look into it, all right? All right, here's another question. How does the Native Americans fit into this history as far as those taken from the Americas to Spain?
You had Native Americans that were taken from America to Spain. And on top of that, you got to remember the curses that fell upon our people is two things. It was either being shipped off and scattered among the nations or colonized in the midst of the nations in the lands they were in. Like our people who reside in India became colonized by the Indians and British. The brothers over there in Africa who were not shipped off were colonized by the British, colonized by the Portuguese during the Berlin Conference. That's when that was their running for Africa. So oftentimes people say, well, how are Native Americans Israelites when they weren't put off in ships? They were put in ships. They were sold off in different ships. They were brought to Spain and Portugal and they were deemed curios, as in curious objects or artifacts. Like Pocahontas was brought over there. Okay, you had what's his name? Forgot his name. He ended up he came back and his tribe was decimated. He learned English.
Tonto? No.
Not Tonto. Tonto's what's the name? That masked superhero thing. Tonto, the Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger.
No, I forgot his name. Some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Is it Squanto? I think it's Squanto. Squanto. The Native Americans were shipped off to different areas. They also walked the Trail of Tears. You read about that under Thomas Jefferson. Andrew Jackson had Negroes and Native Americans walked for thousands of miles from the Florida areas over to Oklahoma, where blacks and Native Americans built Black Wall Street. But we were slaves together as well. We were enslaved. They also had the Native Americans have us as slaves against their will. In order to keep their land, they had to maintain slaves on their land to keep those slaves, even though they themselves were also colonized. So the Native Americans were put in slave ships, and they were shipped off to different parts of the world. You had some Native Americans that were shipped off to Hawaii as well and worked over there. You had some that were shipped off to the Philippines as well. There's many different historical resources that show them being shipped off to different areas or different parts of the Americas, but they were shipped off. But not all of our forefathers in Africa were shipped off, just like not all of our Native American brothers were shipped off. They were just colonized in the lands that they resided in. But the curses, so you read the curses, it mentions colonizing. It mentions your land being taken from you, your ass being taken from you, you working on your land and not reaping the labor. That's colonization. Hope that answers your question.
All right. We have another question. It says, Shalom leadership, Most High in Christ bless you all. Curious about the relationship between the Jews expelled from Spain and the Jews that fled into Africa after 70 AD. What type of interaction did they have in Africa?
Much. They were sold together. The ones who fled into we read that in the book I have, the big book I had that's from 1670. It tells you that they resided in Africa. They resided in Africa for many years, and many of our brothers who fled from Spain and Portugal fled to those areas where those brothers were. We didn't just flee to this random lands in Africa. We had family that stayed behind, that did not move into Spain and Portugal. They ran back to the home of their families. So they ran to areas that they were familiar with, like Joseph and Mary. When they ran into Egypt, there were Jews that lived there. They ran among them to blend, and those Jews blended among the Hamites. But they knew they were Jews. Israel didn't just flee anywhere. Israel ran to where family was. Or we can go see Uncle so-and-so over there in Mauritania. We can go see Auntie so-and-so in Mali. We can go see so that's how Israel was we were very omnipresent. So all of Israel did not flee, all of Israel did not conquer Spain and Portugal with the Arabs. Some of them just fled from Roman persecution, stayed in Africa and minded their own. While others under Arab dominion joined the military of Islam and helped conquer Spain and Portugal. That's it. That's all. So
that's how you brought also, Deacon, the book you just read, it explained that. How
it does
we
explain
knew that we were who we were. We stuck together based on how we were all treated by our adversaries.
Right, exactly. And remember, it tells you that the Jews that were in Africa were the ones that basically, the Jews that were in Spain and Portugal were still in contact with the Jews in Africa that were in the Moors, and they helped them get into Spain to conquer it. So we always kept communications, always. I brought that out chapters ago. So we always stayed in communication in some way or another.
Okay. We want to take one more before we continue?
Yeah, yes.
All right, let's take one more. Shalom leadership. With the information brought out today, are you saying it was our custom that made us distinguish from the Hamites and not our particular features? And if so, is that what the scripture is making reference to when it says the Most High put a difference between Israel and the Egyptians?
Both.
Combination.
Features and customs, yes. But again, more so I would say custom than features, because Moses passed for an Egyptian, and so did Joseph, and so did Paul, and the Messiah and his parents also were able to hide in Africa and blend in as well. So you do have Israelites that do very well look like Ham. All right?
And also, Deke, how did the Hamites? How did Edom identify the natives, the Northern Kingdom, because of their burial rights, their marital
and their tribal
ceremonies,
and their flags, their banners, all of that.
So the custom and features had identified us as Israel.
Right. They knew, and the Hamites pointed us out. They said, those are not people. You're not.
So that's the same thing. And the last question says, Northern Kingdom played a big role because we had the same rights. We had the same customs. That's how they knew they were Hebrews.
Right. There's a book I have called it's called the it's a Slave Atlas. Now I'll give you that one. That's common. It's an atlas. It's a huge brown book like this, and it tells you that the Hamites gave the white man intel on the tribes within Africa.
Right.
On who to go, who to raid, and run and buy and conquer. You know who.
Right.
The Portuguese and the Arabs and Hamites band together. If you look at our camp posters, you'll see a pictorial image of a Hamite, a Portuguese man, a Hamite, and a black Arab, handling a Negro as a slave. So they worked very well together. They knew who was who. They pointed us out. And of course, they played upon our civil wars and so forth as well. So you did have the occasional Negro king, Israelite king Coon, that would have the Portuguese assist him in conquering another group of our people, kingdom of our people, and then in return, he'd get conquered.
Yep.
Okay? Ham gained enough. Ham eventually, the Hamites of Dahomey, they also sat back and watched us fight each other, and they started buying guns from the Portuguese. And they overthrew us also, and then conquered us within our kingdom of Wida, and they began to eat us every year. They killed the elderly, cut the breasts of the women off, and made them Amazonians. Okay? I forgot their name. I forgot his name. He has a name. I call them Dahomians, but they're not. That's not their name. That's just that's an area. But he has a name. That's Sidon. That's Canaanites. That's what that is. And he held that resentment against us from the time when Joshua and them kicked them out of their land, and they got forced further into Africa. That's the same people. Canaanites, the same people. Canaanites.
Wow.
All right. What else? Next one. Next question.
They got a lot of questions.
Okay.
That's fine. Y'all done yet? Yeah. Just give us about 2-3 more minutes. All right. Okay. I got more questions then. Go ahead.
All right. We got the book titled "The History of the Yorubas" from the British. What's that word? Protectorate by Samuel Johnson gives a well-detailed history of him. Oh, that's from the
the guy, the founder of Yoruba.
All right, sorry for the double text. No worries.
Remember. I went over this in a class. I'll take that, but I'm gonna need. If y'all gonna send me books, man, I better highlight what you want me to see, because I'm not reading all these books. I'm very busy. So if you're gonna send books or reference books, make sure you underline or highlight the pages that you feel or deem are very helpful and informative. So I'm not gonna just grab a book. It'll just sit in my shelf and be gone. I'm telling you. A brother at Passover gave me a book on Babylon, Persian pre-captivity. Is excellent, and he underlined all the stuff in there. So I'm gonna be using that in my captivity classes. That's gonna follow this one.
Go back to that book. That was a question we skipped, right? All right. This question says, is Byzantine or Byzantium referring to our people?
Yes, Byzantium is referring to our people. Yes.
Which you told them, which was the
Septimius
Black
Severus
Romans,
and further up.
The Black Romans, correct?
Call them Black Romans.
Okay.
Septimius Severus, Constantine, Saint Helena, King Justinian, Diocletian, Cassius, Septimius Severus' evil ass sons. They were terrible niggas. Terrible. Henry VIII, Charles V, down the line. Whether he was Jake or a tear, I know not. That's subjective, what he was. I know he was definitely dark-skinned. That I know enough of. I know that.
All right. This one says, Shalom Deacon.
A tear meaning he was a white father and black mother. That's what I mean by tear. A hybrid. A heathen hybrid. Yeah.
All right. Shalom, Deacon. All praises to the Most High for using you. You are a big part of me awakening. The book Black Indians that you use.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
Is it by William Katz?
Yes, it is by William Katz. I don't remember using that book though. Did I use that book? I might have used the images, but yes, William Katz. Yes.
All right. Shalom leadership from previous.
That gives a lot of emphasis on the civilized tribes and the Black Wall Street as well, about the Trail of Tears. That goes heavily into detail. That's a pretty good book, and it shows pretty good images too. Yes. What's this here?
All right, Shalom leadership from previous classes.
I got them all lined up over there. All lined up. 31 and now. All praises. One more.
All right, Shalom leadership from previous classes. I know our children were sent to Saint Tome
Most definitely, yes.
as slaves.
Mhm.
When you say Saint Tome in this chapter of our hidden history, is this happening before or after our kids were sent?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Sent where?
All right.
Read again from the top. I'm
From
sorry.
previous classes, I
Uh-huh.
know our children were sent to Saint Tome as slaves.
Saint Tome Island, that was during the time of Portuguese slavery, when we fled out of Spain and Portugal, and they ended up taking our children from us and placed them in plantations in Saint Tome, Guinea, Angola, and Cape Verde as well, and Canary Islands, yes. And then
Yes.
eventually, when they conquered the Native Americans on this side of the world, later on that year, October, or maybe early on in the following year, they built Portuguese and Spanish territories in America, and then brought those Jews from those colonies over to the Americas as well. So what she's asking now?
So now she want to make the distinction. When you say Saint Tome in this chapter, in chapter 30, is this happening before or after our kids were sent to Saint Tome? That's what she's saying. So in other words, we were dispersed. We were spread all about. And this is one of the reasons why the apostles went to these places and preaching the gospel.
The gospel, that's before. But the after is I wouldn't say after. I would say during the Inquisition, and after the Inquisition, they were shipped. They were snatched out their mother's arms, father's arms, and brought to this Saint Tome.
Right.
So I would say during the Inquisition and after, when those who couldn't escape Spain and Portugal, when she gave us ships, but deliberately not enough ships so we can be forced to stay there and be sold. Those children were then taken out their parents' arms, ripped out their parents' arms, and were taken to Saint Tome, where the white colonizers of that area raised those children up as their favorites, Christians, and baptized them in Spanish names. I hope that answers your question. I hope that's the question you asked.
So so in chapter 30,
Chapter 30,
I'm hoping I'm phrasing it right for him or her. In chapter 30,
as in today's lesson.
Today's essence, is this happening before or after the kids were sent to Saint Tome? Like the history was bringing out today. All right, concerning Saint Tome, when our kids was taken, this particular chapter, is it talking about when we include Saint Tome right now in this chapter? Is it talking about prior to our kids being sent there, taken from us and being sent there, or is it during the same time?
During the same time.
During the same time.
Yeah, I'm just emphasizing from chapter to chapter, the last chapter. Every chapter I do is emphasis on the last, so that no one is lost. It's all during.
So this chapter here is getting into that same era when our children was taken from us.
Right, and placed in those areas.
That answers your question.
Portuguese colonies, yes. That's why we've been reading on numerous times about Portuguese possessions. All right, you ready? All right, we got the Arab slave trade. 650 AD, a time when Europe was a third world country that would wait another 200 years before being introduced to civilization by the Moors of Africa. 711 AD. Go down. I'm not going to read all these pages. I'm just going to skim through it. Be right there.
The highlighted?
Yeah, read the highlights.
The Arab slave trade lasted from 652 AD. Arab Nubian slave treaty until 1890.
Until present. Don't listen to that. Present. The others are slaves presently. Secretly, presently. Go ahead.
Africans were sold into slavery for money or things, porcelain, silk, and other fine fabric from the Asia.
From the East. Go ahead.
That powerful and corrupt African nobility desired.
Hamites. Now, go to the next page. Go to, that's when they rape us, rape our women. Here men will take liberties with these hapless girls. I don't want that. Page 34. That's the rape. That's the Arab guy. Go back. That's the Arab raping a Muslim. Yeah, Allahu Akbar, right? Raping our sister there against her will. And they would do horrible things to our women they would never do to their own. That's what it says in the highlight there. Read the highlight there. I'm mad now. Read the highlight there.
Here, men would take liberties with their... Can you zoom in a little bit?
Hapless girls.
With these... There you go.
Hapless girl. With these hapless girls.
With these hapless girls.
How old?
12 to 18 years old. In a manner they would not dream of when courting a Muslim woman they wished to marry.
So they would violate our sisters and do things to our women they wouldn't do to their own. These young Muslims. Go to the page 34. Watch this. Let us be clear. Now you see the guy right there, the woman in his hand, our woman, he got his hand on her breast. That's our sister there. Go down to let us be clear.
Let us be clear. It was the Arabs who set the foundations of exporting Africans.
It was the Arabs who set the foundations for exporting Africans. Now, we know there's Israelites here. Y'all doesn't know, but we know. Israelites, go ahead.
For taking the people of Africa to strange and horrible lands.
Scatter them among the nations. Joel 3, go ahead.
But Africans were not considered capital by the Arabs as they were the capitalists.
As they were by capitalists, go ahead.
It was true that many Arabs saw Africans as inferior, human beings destined for bondage.
What are they?
Destined for bondage.
The Arabs said we were destined for bondage because they read the Bible.
Yep.
They read it. Get Lamentations 2? 16? Yep. They said we were destined for bondage. They knew.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 16. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth.
They speak evil. Go ahead.
They say, we have swallowed her up.
They say we've chewed her up. Go ahead.
Certainly this is the day that we have looked for.
This is the day we look forward to.
We have found.
We have found it where? In the Bible?
We have seen it.
We read it. We read that God will give us the power to conquer these people. And the time has come. They're destined for bondage. See that? Go ahead. That's it in that verse?
Yes, sir.
That's all I want. Go to page 36. You read in that encyclopedia, it said Arab and Hamites raided Negro communities, right? Read page 36, the top question. How did what?
How did Africans become enslaved?
Read the top of the whole thing.
The Arabs took
to the end of the highlight.
Yes, sir. The Arabs took advantage of regional wars in Africa.
Stop. The Arabs took advantage of regional wars. What regional wars? Israelites, kingdoms fighting other Israelite kingdoms. And the Portuguese partook in the same joy. They said, okay, if they're against them, they're against them. That's what Esau did to get Spain back. We had different rival factions of Moors, so typhus, different areas, and they're fighting each other, and the white man's like, okay, come out the caves. They're conquering land by land by land while niggas fighting each other. What else is new?
Hey, Deacon, and that's what Esau is doing amongst camps right now. We both understand this great truth that we are God's chosen people.
I'm sorry, they're called provocateurs.
Exactly, provocateurs. And we should know we are fighting for the same end goal. But then they use this opportunity to make us go against each other. They got CIA agents or whoever provocateurs in these others' camp that's stirring things up. When we got a greater mission to wake our people up, we here going fighting against camps. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas get your spirits right. You know what I mean? That's the same thing we reading right here. The other nation's going to take advantage of our disagreement.
Right.
And also, right, Dick, just to say, to add, Deacon and Bishop was saying yesterday that the prayer that the bishop did in Matthew for the other camps, that they don't accept the prayer. We had a brother, an outsider, that came and praised the bishop for that prayer. He came to our camp and said, yo, we saw it, man. That was very honorable what the bishop did.
Yep, and prayed for.
Right, for praying for these wicked-ass evil brothers.
Right, the same way Esau, I'm glad the sister mentioned in the chat. She's right, Monique. She's right. It's the same way Esau manipulates the gangs in Chicago, Cali, to keep them divided and kill each other. It's the same thing.
Right.
And that helps what? The prison system, which is now privatized.
All right.
Same exact thing. Same thing. Divide and conquer, as someone else said in the comments. Y'all all right. Y'all on point tonight.
Yeah, and also, just keep in mind,
Today.
you people that haven't repented yet, there's all this stuff going on not concerning you. It's going into men's feelings and men's emotions. You're here to learn the laws of God and
Right.
keep them and do them. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get involved in all that garbage.
Right. Read this here. The Arabs.
The Arabs took advantage of regional wars in Africa to buy captives from the victor.
Buy captives from the victor, which is what? Prisoners of war. Prisoners of war they bought from them. Kingdoms. Go ahead.
They also used the old divide and conquer technique.
I didn't know that was there. They used the old divide and conquer technique. Damn.
That's it.
That's it. Go ahead.
They worked one group against the other.
They worked one group against the other. Because you had some kingdoms that were Muslim in Africa and some that were Christian. Some that were neither. He said, yeah, they're not Muslims. You're a Muslim. And they would play on their emotions. Go ahead.
And took or killed the best and strongest.
And took and killed the best or the strongest. Go ahead. Or the oldest, which are the elders. Go ahead.
The Arabs eventually...
The what?
The Arabs eventually...
The Arabs eventually what?
Especially from the 1400s onward.
From the 1400s onward. Go ahead. Did what?
With the help of the ruthless Portuguese...
Whoa. Whoa. With the help of who?
The ruthless Portuguese...
There you go. The Grecians. Go ahead.
Began to raid the coastal towns.
Negro communities. Go ahead.
Mombasa
in Kenya.
Kilwa, Sofla,
and Mogadishu.
Mogadishu.
Go ahead.
And ventured hundreds of miles inland to what we call... to what we today call...
I'm going to read it, man.
Yes,
I'm going to read it. I'm gonna give it a hard time. And also ventured hundreds of miles inland to what we call Uganda, Malawi, Rwanda. That's a movie, Hotel Rwanda. Rwanda, Burundi, to capture Africans, Israelites, who were peacefully minding their own business. Wow. Brothers God, do something with yourselves over there, man. Go to page 37.
Hey, Deke, that's where my mom's from, too, Burundi.
Burundi, your mom's from. Wow, okay. There you go. We saw this from there, too. Go to page 37. We're going to read about Daniel real quick. Just a little short snippet real fast. I want to get to the point about the... I didn't forget the ships and the curses. Read that there.
The centrality of eunuchs in Muslim society.
The centrality of eunuchs in Muslim society. Read that.
Castrated male slaves, agas, or eunuchs.
Or abd. Abd. I mean servants, slaves. Abd. Go ahead.
Were central to familiar peace, protection, and order in many wealthy Muslim households.
Many wealthy what?
Muslim households.
Many wealthy Muslim households had us as slaves. Muslims. Go ahead.
Eunuchs were considered so valuable that they sold for almost 10 times more than non-castrated male slaves, Africans or European.
Because you had white people as slaves also. Yeah, whites are also slave, white, African or European. Go ahead.
In spite of their high price, eunuchs...
Because you had Mozarabs. You had whites who converted to Islam as well. That took place around when the Moors were ruling. You had Mozarabs also. Go ahead. They're called Mozarabs. Go ahead.
Eunuchs, popularly referred to
That's
as...
who Malcolm X saw in the movie Malcolm X. When he went to Mecca, saw them white folks bowing down, praying. That's them. Mozarabs. That's the descendants. That's them. Go ahead. He said, I saw people of all colors bowing down to a rock. Arabic Christianity. Go ahead.
Eunuchs, popularly referred to as kadim, or teacher, or tutor, were seen by the hundreds of thousands in many parts of Muslim society.
Read it around. Read on down.
Eventually, the craft or surgery became the profitable hallmarks of Coptic priests throughout Upper Egypt, the Sudan, and Ethiopia.
Watch this.
They would amputate the scrotum and penis.
They would cut our balls and penis off. Off of how old?
Of 8 to 12-year-old African boys so completely that it was called leveling with the abdomen.
Wow. They damn near cut it all clean off. Nothing was there. It's the hole. That's all I want, man. I don't want this Scott.
Hey, you brothers never want to do IT for Arabs.
Yeah.
You see what happened, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
you
a
drop the bomb
hundreds-
late. It's a problem.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Our brothers drop that bomb late. It'll be a problem right now.
Go to, I'm going to get to the point. Go to page 40 now. We're going to start from the top. In fact, here we leave our souls. Start from the top. There's a reason for the top. Right there. Start from the top and end at the highlight bottom. Now, read the whole thing.
Okay. Here we leave our souls. In fact, Bagamoyo was one of the most important slaves embarkment ports for those captives destined for
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar
slave trade. That was a slave port, Zanzibar, and so was Mecca. That's a very, very well-kept secret, but it was a slave port too. Zanzibar and Mecca. Go ahead.
The Arab slave trade's key island.
Key island. Zanzibar is a key island of slave trading. Go ahead.
Over the centuries, from 900...
Over the 7 centuries.
Sorry. Over the 7 centuries, from 900 to the 1600s AD...
From 1600s to now. Go ahead.
Of the early Arab slave trade, hundreds of thousands of Africans died crossing the Indian Ocean between
Tanganyika,
Kenya, and Zanzibar.
So the Arab slave trade, hundreds of thousands of Africans died crossing the Indian Ocean. Hundreds of millions died crossing the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. So we're reading about the other side of the slave trade. That's not spoken about. This is 900 to 1600s, but the slave trade started earlier than this. It started around, I'd say, 900's good because around 800. Around 800 AD and down until present. We don't watch this.
Arab slave ships.
Stop. Whoa. Whoa. Arab slave ships.
What?
Go ahead.
Carried 200 to 400 captured Africans.
How?
Jammed together either.
Whoa. Jammed together. Go ahead.
Either on an open deck or below the deck with no regard for sex or age, for sanitation or for food quality.
It's a cargo slave ship.
Damn.
The Arabs did the same thing. That's why on God's hit list in Psalms 83, Ishmael's number 2. Because he was just as and is just as vile and bastardish as Edom is. That's why they worked so well together. Remember, Esau married an Ishmaelite woman.
Right.
And those two mingled together are Turks who took over Egypt, took over Mauritania, took over pretty much all of Africa, including Northeast Africa and parts of Israel too. Go ahead.
The trip could take 1 day to reach Zanzibar, or it could take 2 weeks.
So we're traveling 2 weeks in unsanitary, packed like sardines, 200 to 400 captives on top or below a deck of a slave ship of Arabs. Go ahead.
Either way, there was not enough food and no health support. So the loss of African lives averaged about half of the original human cargo.
So what happened to those bodies? Threw them overboard.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was just the white man. No.
And that's why in Revelation it says the sea will give up the dead.
Yeah.
That was tossed in them by you captors.
And Dick, it looks like that's probably where Willie Lynch probably read about that, where he get his letters from, setting us against each other.
Yeah.
That's the same thing the British did to the Tutsis and Hutus. They set them against each other.
Yeah, and also they did the same thing in South Africa. The Dutch gave them different tribal names. He fed those names to them, and they all divided also. Those different tribes in South Africa. The Afrikaners did that. Go to page 39. Go to the top part.
The raids and caravans of captives. The Arab slavers would go inland and raid at nightfall.
They would snatch our kids at night. Go ahead.
Just as the villagers were having their communal dinner.
Feast days. Read on.
Those who resisted or tried to run away were shot.
Right, by Portuguese guns, because the Arabs bought those guns. Because the Arabs use swords, but they have guns now because they bought them from the Portuguese. They work together. Go ahead.
When the Arabs encountered more warlike Africans,
when they encountered the warriors of our people,
they used the divide and conquer method. The Arabs would stir up conflict between two groups,
like Igbos and Yorubas. Go ahead.
Then lend their support to one group over the other.
See? Well, I'll tell you.
Damn.
I didn't know I was there. I just read this here. I'm telling you, that's what they would do. Then they would, after that, they would conquer them. Go ahead.
The African victors traded their captives for Arab trinkets, beads, and cloth.
And eventually got sold themselves, or colonized themselves, or forcefully converted themselves. Go ahead.
The Arab caravans of enslaved Africans grew.
Go ahead.
The Arabs would kill most of the adult men.
They would kill most of the males.
Because they had resisted and would most likely continue to resist. Their death served to put fear in the hearts of the living.
The women and children. That's what it was for. What Esau was doing on this side, they did it on the other side too. Jump down to the next highlight part.
Young men, women, and children of all ages were bound by hand, either with hemp or leather, which grew tighter as time went on.
Around their necks. Yokes of hemp, or yokes of leather rather than yokes of iron. Esau used iron, Ishmael used hemp and leather. And as they traveled more, it got tighter and tighter. Go ahead.
And by neck.
And by neck. Go ahead.
And by neck yokes to each other.
By neck what?
By neck yokes.
Neck yokes. Neck yokes. Go ahead.
And forced to walk for 100 of miles through the dense forests, savannas, mountains, and waterways.
Trail of Tears on the other side of the world.
Wow.
Trail of Tears. History repeating itself.
Wow.
Curses everywhere. Jump down to the next highlight part.
In the 1,200 years of...
No,
matter
of fact, read on. If they behind.
Okay.
If they got sick.
Got you. If they got sick, they were left behind.
Watch this.
Often still bound or yoked to another sick or dead person.
So the living would have to drag dead sick bodies along with them in the hundreds of miles.
What?
Go ahead.
To make matters worse, they were constantly whipped, and all men, women, and children were treated as beasts of burden.
Wow. They were whipped. Just like Esau used to do. Go ahead.
Carrying loads of ivory and other African treasures.
Our treasures. Go ahead.
In the 1,200 years of Arab slavery, tens of millions of Africans...
Tens of millions of Africans, Israelites, go ahead.
Died before they could even be sold.
Oh, my God. That's all I want.
Wow.
So we're going to end it on that note.
1,200
When these dumb Negroes talking about they got Arab money, this is where your Arab money came from.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Off the backs of your people,
Then we
the
have
death of your people.
Jake, Arab idiot that came out the camp yesterday.
Yep,
That's why at camp we bring this book out. I'm just going to start embarrassing y'all.
Was that that divide and conquer thing? See how far that goes back, man, and it's still happening today. Not only amongst us as Israelites, but in Christian churches themselves. They do that to keep them confused.
Yep.
With the gangs, Bloods and Crips, Nietas, MS-13s, and Latin Kings and all that.
Yep.
They don't understand, man. They really, man, our people destroyed.
Right. So this book again, because I'm going to ask a question. What the book called? The book is called The Black Holocaust for Beginners by S.E. Anderson. Okay, The Black Holocaust for Beginners by S.E. Anderson. All right?
That was a
very good
great
book.
class.
And if you look in the back, it shows you a very, very illustrative Deuteronomy 28, verse 41 right there. All right? Yokes of vine upon your neck. You see that little image there? With my hand. You can see our forefather with the yokes right around his face. All right? That's in Django, too. When Django was upside down, he said, cock-a-doodle-doo, nigger, and started kick them in the face.
Right.
Same thing. Same exact image. Same depiction. All right? You got it?
Yeah, he zoomed in right there.
Anybody got it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Great class, Dick, as usual. Beautiful.
Shout out to the IT team. Shout out to the breakfast team. We got much time to end it. Hope I got some information out of this class. And we're going to delve more into the Inquisition. I kind of sidebarred into the outcome of the Trans-Saharan. I delved into the outcome of the Inquisition. So we're gonna get some more of that.
All right. So real quick, we ended off. Shout out to Orlando for beautiful Passover. Shout out to leadership, keeping everybody in the spirit. Shout out to all you radio shows that's happening. Patient Saints, Raven and Wolves radio show. I almost got killed for not shouting them out. But if you like to donate to our Hidden History show, whether it be books, whether it be information, go to IUIC New Jersey at IsraelUnite.org. IUIC.NewJersey at IsraelUnite.org, and also support IUIC Boosters Club at IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to our Hidden History Radio YouTube channel. All right?
Right. Also, shout outs to Captain Gerald, he's under the weather. Let's hope he gets better. And also Officer Jazz, who's under the weather, hope they get better. And also shout outs to the audience for helping me out. I'm reading the comments here. All praises to the Lord for that, for your assistance as well. What else? I didn't even introduce the brothers. Shout outs to Officer Aim. Shout outs to Officer Ephraim, Officer Laquat, and
Officer Abaddon.
Yes, Abaddon. Oh, God, I'm tired. Officer Abaddon. All right. So hope y'all got some help, got some information out this lesson, and I pray we'll see y'all for chapter 31. Chapter 31 next week, Lord's will.
Forgive us, man. We kept partying last night for the
man. We was partying
5 in the morning.
So yeah,
we had to turn it up for the Lord.
Yep. So
all praises.
Praise the Lord for that. Lord's will. See y'all again. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.